And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition here of the LiuLi Cup, weekly number 2. I'm of course Josai VIP, and with me I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all. I do apologize because we did miss out on LiuLi Cup number 1 last week. We did miss out last week, but here we are this week to catch up and to indulge in some LiuLi Cup action. Now, for those that are curious, LiuLi, who is that? That is Saber. Saber is a Chinese caster. We have been casting LiuLi Cups. This is not a LiuLi Cup, this is a LiuLi Weekly, but he has been organizing events, show matches, and other quirky tournaments over the past 2 years. And here he is back with a weekly tournament, with a monthly finals as well that players are working towards. Again, this was also being held last week. Unfortunately, we weren't able to cast it at the time. We were preoccupied covering the Thermal 2-2 circuit, or was it? I think it was the 2-2 circuit that we were getting into, so I do apologize for that. But now we're here, we are back, we can focus on some casting, on some StarCraft. Let's go, Papi, let's go. We're here, we're back, and we have our first round. Exclamation mark, be in the chat to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is live, the bracket is stacked, the bracket is looking hefty, Papi, and we have our first series from the top. Let's go into this. We have MaxPax, he's waiting on the very top of the bracket, waiting for the winner of Rebellion and Triple. Scrolling down, we have Lambo and Creator. That is going to be our series. We're going to be jumping into the ZVP between Lambo and Creator. Great to see the Europeans and the Koreans facing off early on. Scrolling down a little bit further, we have Geralt. We have Geralt versus Hacker is top. Winner goes up against ByuN in the next round. We have Shameless versus Gersa User. Winner goes up against Rogue in the next round. We have Young Zest versus his opponent. Winner goes up against HeRo. We have Percival versus Shino. Winner goes up against Trigger. We have Rex and Ragnar. Winner goes up against Classic, and then we have Hearthstone and Love when it goes up against Big Gabe, HeRoMaRine. Shocking to see Big Gabe. Big Gabe, he's been vocal about not being fond of online weeklies, or not being fond of online tournaments, and he rarely partakes, but this week he's here. Let's go. I would love to cast some Gabe later on, but for now, we're getting into our first best of 3 this morning. In the bottom right-hand corner of Incorporeal, we have the German Zerg player, we have the Red Zerg. Representing Shopify Rebellion, it is Lambo. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player. We have the South Green Protoss. It is a Creator. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our best of 3. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Just catching with the chat. LiuLi Cup is fun because usually stacked. Yes, the LiuLi Weekly, I mean, it is pretty well stacked. I mean, I would say it's pretty comparable to like the WarDTV Monday or to KSL as well. But specifically because of its time slots, it is comparable to the WarDTV Monday, which means it's a good time slot for Europeans and Korean players. So you get a nice mixture of the two. Similar to WarDTV Monday, similar to Sparkling Tuna Cup. Of course, with the bigger prize pool, it does attract even more players. So it's a really nice time slot for Koreans and Europeans, and again, because of the boosted price, or because the hefty prize pool is able to bring in a little bit more attention. Like players like Lambo and Gabe, they rarely play in these tournaments, but they are here. So we get some German representation. When it comes to the Koreans, we get who we typically expect. We have players like HeRo, ByuN, likewise we have Classic, we have Rogue, like Creator, like these are the ones that we do expect when it comes to these weeklies. But again, just a really nice mixture of the player base. Very nice indeed. For the time being, we have a standard opener, Hatch Gas Pool at Lambo. Likewise, we have a Gate Expand, or Gate Expand in Cybercore here by Creator as well. Now, when it comes to our builds, when it comes to our openers, we do expect a couple of things here. We expect aggression out of Lambo. Lambo is not really known for embracing a longer and later game, so I would expect to see some earlier timing attacks on 3 bases. It's very popular, very trendy to be aggressive on 3 bases. From the side of Creator, he is willing to mix it up. He's willing to go for Stargate into Twilight Council, into more Glaive Adept aggression. He's willing to go into DTs, into Archon Drop, into an Archon Drop follow-up. He's willing to play more standard as well into the mid-game. Ooh. Speaking of, there it is, Twilight Council. Now, I was assuming it was going to be Stargate into Twilight Council. Here, it's just straight Twilight Council. So a very aggressive start. Now, this could be one of 2 things. Either a DT-based opener into the Archon Drop, which we did mention earlier, or Glaive Adepts. Right now, we're staying 3 and 3 in gas. If we pull out of gas, then we are leaning more towards Glaives. If we stay in, we're leaning more towards DTs. Bearing in mind this is not an all-in, this is an aggressive opener, that is true, but you can deviate out of this and transition into a longer game state. But now Twilight Council's done, we have not pulled out, we are expecting the Dark Shrine. So we have an abundance of gas. You can see here, Creator on patrol to deny the scouts. Overlord is outside of the natural. The Overlord has not gone in yet. And there it is, as we did mention, the Dark Shrine. Again, the reasoning for this is because we did stay in gas. So again, there were two options, stayed in gas, DTs. DTs here out of Creator. Meanwhile, Lambo back at home, he's still unaware. Momentarily, he will recognize that it is not a Stargate, otherwise it'd be an Oracle moving out across the map. So there are certain tells here as to what's going on, but he needs to confirm, because for all he knows, it could be DTs or it could be Adepts. We do have a safety Roach one on the way, so nice reaction here by Lambo. He will have Roaches to defend, Roaches as a response, but he still needs to confirm whether or not he needs detection. Otherwise, he may be tempted to skip detection, and then everything's just going to go south. Oh boy. Here we go. See in chat, I think we had Maru last week. Oh, maybe. I'm not entirely certain of that. As unfortunately, I wasn't there for the first one. No, shot. Let's see. LiuLi. As the Dark Shrine is finishing up, Prism moves out. Prism is spotted here by Lambo. Lambo does have a safety spore on the way. We have a spore here at the natural base. No spore in the main, but there's going to be detection at the natural at least. Scrolling down, double checking. Maru, he was not in the weekly #1. You might be confusing that with LiuLi Cup. LiuLi Cup is not the same as the LiuLi Weekly. LiuLi Cups are invitationals. LiuLi Cups are invitationals. LiuLi Weeklies are the weekly open tournaments. Oh. I know they sound similar. They're by the same guy. They're by Saber. They're by LiuLi, but different. As DTs, they rock up. Thankfully, there is detection, and Lambo, he defends. He defends. He deflects. He does force back those Dark Templar. Behind us, we have Archons now going to be morphing in. And this is what's flexible here about this opener. Again, Creator, he opened up Dark Templar. If the Dark Templar didn't do any damage, bam, we just morph in DTs. Just morph in Dark Templar. Sorry, morph in the Archons, is what I meant to say, from the Dark Templar. And then you can harass, you can poke in, you can contain your opponents, hunt down Overlords, pick off Lings, threaten Queens. There are layers to this, and Lambo is being kept back at home. Now, there are a couple of things that are now available to Lambo. This is why the build that Creator is going for is not seen too often, because suddenly, the problem here with this build is no blink, right? There's no blink stalkers, and there's no Stargate with this either, right? Just naturally, when it comes to this build, it's typically DTs and Archons into Charge and Immortals, standard follow-up. Because there's no Stargate, because there's no blink stalkers, it does mean that something like Mutaplay is more viable here. So you can go for a Hidden Spire at the natural base, or in the main, or at the third base, and try to go into Mutatech to abuse the limited anti-air of Creator. Likewise, Swarm Hosts. Swarm Hosts are also viable here as well. Going Nidus Swarm Host to harass the edge bases, to harass the third base, to harass the main base, and to get damage done is also viable. And bam, there it is, Spire. And again, we call that just because this is a very common, very standard response to an Archon drop. As we were emphasizing, the anti-air is lacking here, so this is more viable than usual. So Lambo goes for it. The other option, as we mentioned, was going to be Swarm Host, but opts not to go for the Infestation Bit, goes for the Spire instead. So from here, Lambo, he's building up. Now, Creator, if we can call the potential of Spire, so can Creator, right? Creator, he knows. He knows that because he opened in such a way, something like Spire play is very common as a reaction and as a response. So Creator, I do like this. He's being aggressive early on. He's being active. He's applying pressure, and he's going for hallucination. Will he scout? No! Oh, Queen's in position. The scout is denied, and he does not see what's going on. Now, there is a window in time where Creator can try to strike before the mutas are ready, as Lambo is banking resources and preserving his resources. You can see here, Lambo, he has over 1,000 minerals. Over 1,000 minerals, he has 700 gas. Like, he is not spending his money because he wants to make as many mutas as possible, which means Creator could try to break through. Now Creator picking in. Behind this, building up more Archons, building up more Immortals. We have extra gateways finishing up, but it's going to be go time soon. Here come the mutas. Creator, we got to go. We gotta send it. And he is. No fourth. There's no fourth base. We have 4 pylons on the way. Creator, he's going for 1. A massive push on 3 bases. But is he waiting too long? On the one hand, he's waiting because he's building up more Archons. He's building up more NG on the sentries. Like, he's building up his army. But he's all in. The reason why I say he's all in, one, no fourth base, but two, no upgrades. There's no forge, there's no +1, 0 upgrades here for Creator. This army has no longevity. He has no longevity here. It's one and done for Creator. It's all or nothing. So he's all in. Creator, he's all in. If these mutas go across the map to harass, then Creator, it won't really matter too much. Again, Creator, he's looking for one big fight to end the game. His army's looking terrifying. Mutas defensively aren't ideal. What are mutas good for? Harassing. They're great for harassing. They're great for dealing him with damage, and there they go. Mutas, they do skirt around the edge of the map. They're headed towards the middle line, which means they won't be at home to defend. To be fair, they won't really do much defensively. The best that the mutas could do is snipe the prism. That's the best they could do, is snipe the warp prism and deny warp ins. Here we go. He does hit the third, and here comes the main army. Oh, that splits. Very nice splits. Yeah, we do see Creator collapsing in. Nice force fields locking down the roaches. The Immortals, they go ham, and Creator is going for the kill. He's going for the kill, going for the throat. Mutas, they get 21 probe kills by Creator. He doesn't care. Remember, he went all in. Good reaction, good response here by Creator. ByuN, they take down one Zealot. Roach Warren goes down, which means what you see is what you get. Only 17 extra roaches. Once again, nice force fields. Ooh, ByuN, they do not connect. Gets one Archon. Got like 1-2 Archons so far, but the Creator, he's done it. Creator, it looks like he has done it. He's pushing further into the main base. We have Spine Crawlers on the way. Ooh, the ByuN, they do raise one of the Immortals. Another Immortal gets started down. But he's running out of steam, running out of army. We have Zerglings here as a response. Remember, the Roach one was sniped, so no more Roaches to defend. Only Zerglings. Mutas are doing a lot across the map as we're going into the base trade. They're getting a lot done. Zealots, they peel off in towards the third. Spine Crawlers are on the way, but they're not ready. Oh, that's a lot of Zerglings, though. And can we get these spines up running? Can we pull off the base trade? The army's rotating up. Yeah, the army just rotates. Oof. Spine Crawlers are night drones. They try to evacuate. They're getting out of here. Lambo. He does escape with some drones. True. And Lambo, he has mining. He has mining going on, so he can afford an expansion. Mutas, they turn back around. Now, how many Archons are there? 4. 4 Archons. Ooh, 5. 5 Archons. 1 Archon is almost dead. But the Archons, this is the anti-air. And Mutas, they cannot freely engage into this. If we see Creator split up his army, then maybe. Whereas Mutas, they do spread. Nice thumping here with the Archons. Juggling with the Prism as well. It does juggle back. Does preserve those Archons. Very nice control. Oh, the one Archon, yeah, he saves the Archons. GG gets called. Creator, he juggles the units well, and Creator, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. A really solid read there from Creator. What I mean by that, winding it back a little bit here. So, Creator, his opener didn't really do much damage. I'm referring specifically to the DT and Archon drop follow-up. He didn't do much damage. He gained map control more than anything. He was able to establish a third base, but he forced a reaction. He forced a reaction out of Lambo. As remember, Lambo, he was banking up a lot of resources, over 1,000 minerals, 700 gas. He made 9 mutas, and then he kept making more mutas. That was his reaction, his response to Creator, and that works really well if Creator was macroing. If Creator was getting a 4th base, if it was getting upgrades, if Creator was building up into a longer game, then that is where Lambo could thrive and make use of those mutas to harass, to pin his opponent back, and to max out and to play a game. But Creator, what did he do? Well, he opened up DTs with Archons, of course. He was expecting his opponent to go into mutas, to be very tech heavy with their response, to spend their money on harassing units, not on an actual main army, and with that he went for an all-in. He went for an all-in, and remember, there was no 4th base, no extra probes, there were no upgrades at all for Creator. He went for one massive all-in, hoping to catch Lambo teching, and he did. He did catch Lambo. As we were trying to emphasize, Lambo going to mass muta, he's not built to defend, he's not built to fight. Is not built to really engage head-on. That's built to harass, to build up into a greater economy, and specifically in that kind of situation, that's why he could never really take a head-on fight, and Creator snowballed out of control. GG. GG, well played. Very impressive play there by Creator. Again, just to really, like, I should say Creator, he kind of like, you know, played his tune and Lambo danced to it. Like Lambo, he was very predictable in his response, and yeah, Creator, he baited him into the mutas. GG. GG, well played. And I say predictability just because Creator never scouted the Spire, right? Like that's also why I want to emphasize that, is that Creator kind of like baited him into playing a certain way, and even though Creator never got confirmation, like it worked out beautifully because hey, Lambo, he fell for it. And with that, we're now getting into our next game. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Pylon, we have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Shopify Rebellion down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We have the German Zerg player. It is Lambo. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player. The blue Protoss, the South Green Protoss. It is a Creator. In the series 1-0. Here we go. It's catching up in the chat. Creator's going to die to mutas. I think those comments were made after our breakdown of the game itself. So it's all good. Do apologize for not making it clear as to what was happening. But I hope I was able to after the game ended, as to how that game played out. And again, just really smart play at a Creator overall. Go. From here, we're getting to our standard opener, Hatch Gas Pool out of Lambo, claiming his natural base as his third, the unnatural natural. And again, Creator back at home, settling in. And we'll see what he goes for. We'll see if he goes for another Twilight Council opener. We'll see if he goes for a Stargate. We are loading into Pylon, and Pylon is a smaller map, but shorter rushes by ground. So aggression is favored here. But as we mention all the time, aggression goes both ways. On the one hand, something like a Roach all-in, a Link Hydra all-in, a Drop Lord based all-in, like a lot of all-ins are going to be favored from the side of Zerg. Likewise, Protoss players can also open up Twilight Council, be more aggressive with their Glaive Depths, or they can go for these stronger Blink timings without Forges and go for these big 3-base all-ins. So, or even early charge, true. So there are these earlier timings you can go for from both sides. We'll see if anyone goes for it. Go. Once again, Twilight Council opener at a Creator. Now, once again, we should emphasize that a Twilight Council opener typically is one of two things, either a DT opener or Glaive Depths. Both are viable, both are good options, especially on Pylon. For the time being, is staying in gas, so we're expecting another DT opener. And I would love the idea of a Creator going for the same build, and this time actually macroing. Remember, last game, no Forge, no extra workers, no fourth base. Like, he intentionally had a 3-base on fold. He pulls out. Never mind, he pulls out of gas. Glaive Depths. I was gonna say I love the idea of him going for the same build, but instead going for a different reaction, and Lambo being too scared to go into Spire and to go into Mutas, and then have that kind of snowball out of control. But here, instead, he's going into Glaive Depths, and it's gonna be up to Lambo to figure out what's going on, and to piece together what's happening. Early Roach one. Once again, we have an early Roach one here out of Lambo, just like last game. So this is around a 3:30 Roach one timing. With this, we'll be able to get into Roach production early on. We should be seeing a safety Spore Crawler as well. But a big downside as to what's happening here is that because he was forced to take the unnatural natural, that means there's no creep here at the wall. That means that the Roach Warren is not a part of the wall, and that means that there is no wall, right? There's no, typically in a standard game would have a Roach Warren, then you can wall off with 2 Evo chambers, fully wall this area off to make sure the depths do not shade into your bases. But because the other base was taken instead, there is no creep, there is no SimCity, there is no wall, so these bases are a lot more exposed, a lot more accessible to the adepts. So this is where Creator could thrive. Again, Lambo is still playing very safe, thankfully. Like, Roach production's already begun. He's already making Roaches. He cut workers early at 39. A lot of players joined up to around 45 before making Roaches, but here Lambo is playing very safe. And a really good read here as well. He didn't scout the main base, but he did read this well because there's no Spore. No Spore, and he's not being punished for it. Adepts have arrived. They can shade in. But again, we have plenty of Roaches because Lambo cut drones early. He cut them early. Lambo taking this very seriously. Oh, DT, he pulls back in. He pulls back into gas. He pulls back into gas. He's going for DTs as a follow-up. Let's go. Este Creator. The problem here is that it's going to take a little bit longer, just because he was missing gas mining for so long. It's a later Dark Shrine, later DTs. Spore threatens the main base. Lambo does run away. There is one Spore in the main at least, but there's no Spore at the natural, no Spore at the third either. So there's potential. It's also important here because the Twilight Council, sorry, I should say the depths have not been thrown away. They were not thrown away. They're still very much so, they have potential, I should say. They have potential for damage. So they can threaten the shade towards the third base, Prism into the main. And so far we're holding back. I should emphasize still no spores. The layer is still finishing up. So no mobile detection. Dark Shrine is done. No DTs yet. Prism goes back home, and we're building up on 3 bases. Now, after the early game here, I do give the edge to Lambo. We invested quite heavily into these adepts, and we invested quite heavily into this Dark Shrine, and so far they haven't really paid for themselves. So far they haven't really done any damage, and this means that the Forge is late. The Blink slash Charge, as we cancel Blink going Charge, is also late as well, so a lot of the tech is delayed. The third base is decently on time, but the tech here is the biggest concern. And it should be on Lambo to move out on 3 bases. He's getting a 4th as we speak. In my mind, I wouldn't be surprised if this is just for Larva and he goes for a 3 base all in. Like 3 base all in Lambo would make a lot of sense, especially on Pylon. And it's going to be a tough hold for Creator. Spire is on the way. Oh, okay. Spire gets scattered. Interesting follow-up. I mean, it's once again a similar kind of thought process to game number 1. If you remember our explanation, Spire play in certain situations can be stronger because there's no Blink and there's no Stargate, right? There's no Stargate, there's no Blink. That's the downside of this build. So muted play can be more impactful. Last game, it didn't work out because Creator went for an all-in, but here, Creator, he is investing into upgrades. He's getting +1, he's saturating. It looks like he, is getting a 4th base. So he's building up into a longer game, which means mutas should have an easier time. He should be able to have an easier time getting away with it. Ooh, Adepts are getting caught out. Let's get the hell out of here. Adepts do pull away. And again, we are so spread out here. Like, these bases are so vulnerable. I'm referring to the 3rd base and the 4th as well. Lambo is gearing up with the Zingbane Ravager. Lambo is going to be the first to max out. Lambo, he doesn't have to invest into mutas. He cancels. He cancels the Spire. He doesn't need them. Doesn't need the Spire. He's cutting workers at 74. That is under 4 base saturation. And it should soon be go time. And it's going to be insanely impressive if Creator can somehow survive this. Like, no shot. Here we go, 29 Bailings. 40 even, Jesus. That's a lot of Bailings. There are going to be some Archons which will help. Like, the army composition is good, but the quantity just isn't there. Likewise, he's got 1 shield battery. He's going to have the War Prism to juggle, true. There is micro potential here with force fields, with juggling. Nice spread here by Creator. He's ready to receive. Spots the army. Oh, I'm loving this with the... Okay. Picks up a couple of Bailings ahead of time. Really nice. Bailings, they crash in. They take the shield battery. Yeah, shield battery goes down. Not really many force fields. Archons, they come in from behind. Mineral line goes down. And we're out of Bailings. We're out of Bailings, but we're also out of Archons. Yeah, Ravager's is going to be able to break through. Takes on every single Archon. Yo, we got the charge, let's say. Okay. Creator, he's holding on. He holds on, he cleans up this army, but he lost the base. He lost the 4th expansion. He lost 7 probes as well. And Lambo can remax. He can rebuild, he can remax. Creator did at least preserve all of his immortals. That's true. Impressive, but it was an expensive defense here for Creator. And Lambo should just do that again. Just build up, do it again. No shot. Okay. I was like, is he gonna buy health? There you go. Denies a 4th, and Creator should never expand. He should never be able to expand at this point. Again, if we were on Tokamak, if we were on a larger map, then sure, there'd be a possibility. But here on Pylon, no shot. It's not gonna happen. Not like this. As Lambo takes down the cannon. Now headed towards the third base. Wait as they crash into the Zealots. Zealots go down. And with that Lambo, he will be able to overwhelm the army. Again, there's just not much left. He does preserve his Immortals once again. The Immortals, they survive, but it's only the Immortals. They're vulnerable, they're on their own. And GG gets called. GG gets called. Lambo ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Ooh, GG. GG, well played. With that, Lambo does tie things up. Again, Creator, he just did not do enough with his opener, opening up with his Glaive Adepts, following it up with Dark Templar. It wasn't really worth it. It wasn't really worth it in the end. He was just so far behind tech-wise. He did no damage across the map. But again, shout out to Lambo, because Lambo, he also read it quite well. He was hyper defensive. Remember, he cut workers at 39. He cut workers earlier on to ensure that he was able to defend. On top of that, he skipped spores. He was banking on the fact that it would not be DTs. Thankfully it wasn't, because he had no spores for the first prism push, for the first wave. In the end, he shut down the Adepts, didn't kill them, but he just didn't take any damage. From there, he could just freely get up to 74 workers, or 72 to 74, essentially 3.5 base saturation, and then just build up, max out. GG. GG, well played. It isn't just the lack of damage that the Creator was able to deal, but also the map as well, right? The map is even more punishing. We spoke about it, but Pylon favors aggression. It favors the aggression. It is difficult to defend on your 4 bases on Pylon, especially if you are lacking momentum, which is where Creator was. We spoke about it on some of these larger maps. If we were on Tokamak, if we were on Tokamak, if we were even potentially Maganatha as well, like there are definitely maps out there that are a lot more defendable, more so than Pylon, where you can try to pull off that comeback and try to turtle up. But alas, here we go. We're getting into the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. Did he cancel the Spire because he saw the 4th base? He canceled the Spire before the 4th. I'm pretty sure it's just because he got scattered by the hallucination. They just canceled. Just canceled the Spire. Committed to Lingbane Roach Ravager. What's your about game from WTL? A lot that basically that response from Lambo. It's kind of like, don't want to say an all-in. It's just a way to punish, just a way to end the game, just a way to punish, right? Like you're not intending to get into a longer game. That's why he wasn't taking into like an infestation pit or a Hydra den or a lurker den or a hive. Like we're not, or even saturating his 4th. Remember, he didn't even saturate his 4th base. Like he knew that he was ahead, so it was just a way to end the game, just a way to end it, just a way to kill Creator, knowing that he was far ahead. And here we go. We're now getting into our next game. Into the ace match. Oh boy, we'll see how this story ends as we're loading into Ley Lines. Now, Ley Lines is a little bit more middle of the road. It's not as defendable as Tokamak. It's not as aggressive as Pylon. It's a little bit more down the middle here. We'll see what our players go for. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the German Zerg player, the German Zerg player himself. We have the red Zerg representing Shopify. It is Lambo. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss forced into the ace match. Tied up series. We'll see if we can bring it back. It is Creator. Here we go. Now, so far, we've had 2 games with different builds. We have had a Twilight Council opener into DTs in game 1. We had Twilight Council with the Glaive Adepts in game number 2. Here, we're expecting a Stargate. Again, Creator, he is, as we mentioned at the very beginning of the series, he's known for these Twilight Council openers. We've casted him many of times in recent weeks where he has been going into these Glaives. He has been going into these DTs. I recommend watching his matches in Sparkling Tunic Cup, for example, in these other online weekly tournaments. It is very common here for Creator, but he doesn't just have to open up this aggressively. He can can open up standard as well. When he does open standard, he's typically more mid-game oriented. That's where he can really thrive. You've seen him go for even Robo openers just to be a little bit more defensive, going Robo into High Templar Archon drop instead in towards the mid game. But we'll see what he goes for this time. Again, creator, he has a lot of variety here. He's not as aggressive, he's not as in your face as Classic or HeRo. They are a lot more intense when it comes to their setups, when it comes to the games. Creator a little bit less so, but we'll see what he goes for. Likewise, Lambo going Hatch Gas Pool does take his standard natural base, so he's not going to be as vulnerable or as exposed. Likewise, rush distance by ground is going to be a little bit longer compared to on Pylon. You have more time to react, more time to respond. It means you can get away with droning up a little bit harder. And we're just waiting for the Cybercore. Now, based on the pylon location, it does look like hidden tech. Typically, if it's a Stargate opener, this is typically, not always the rule, but typically the pylon would be closer to the edge of the main. Closer to the edge so you can actually get your Stargate, and the Oracle gets across the map as quickly as possible because of the reduced distance between yourself and your opponent's bases. Typically, if it's further back, it's a Twilight Council. This is not always like 100%, but there it is, Robo. So we are hiding tech. Okay, so again, this explains the positioning of the pylon, and if you remember, we actually just spoke about this opener a couple of moments ago. We spoke about the Robo opener into High Templar into a more delayed High Templar Archon drop. That is what this looks like. In my mind, this should be a Robo into a Twilight Council into a Templar Archives, but we'll see. We shall see. Technically, this could also be a little bit more old school. This could be a Robo into a Bay, but that's very old. That's like 2022, like era of StarCraft. Like it's been a while since we've seen like a proper like Colossus drop or Disruptor drop kind of opener. Shout out to Estrella, like Estrella. Some of the NA Protoss players would be often fond of that. But there's no Twilight Council. Okay. Ooh, no Twilight Council. Are we going for a slow lot all in? Are we gonna pull a classic? Okay, you have my attention. If you remember, there was a build that was made by, I say classic, it was made by Haas. This was back in 2021. That was popularized, but no. Okay, we are still teching. So Forge and Twilight Council. This is interesting. I say it's interesting because in my mind, if we were going to go for something like a High Templar Archon drop, we would have had an earlier Twilight Council. Early Immortal production here feels kind of weird because we're teching, right? Like, we're not hitting anytime soon. We will have an early Immortal count, and looks like we're going to be dropping and harassing early on, but we're working on that next step as well. Okay, let him cook, Pappy, let him cook. Have my attention. Behind this, we do see Lambo going for a safety Roach Warren here. This looks like around 340-ish Roach Warren timing from the side of Lambo, so very safe. Lambo, he's droning out somewhat. He's getting a safety Spore just in case as well. So Spore in the main, Spore at the natural. He's ready for DTs. And we can see he's going Archon. Sorry, he's not going Immortal Charge Law. So Immortal Charge Law here out of a Creator. But again, these upgrades hit a lot later. They hit a lot later. The Overlord is not going in for a Scout. The Scout has been denied. Prism moves out. We're only revealing Adepts. Okay, so intentionally we're hiding the Immortals. We're hiding the Immortals. We're hiding the Sentries. The Overlord has failed to scout. The Lair is not even halfway done, so an Overseer Scout is still a ways away. The Overlord is going to go down. Yeah, so zero scouting. Zero scouting out of Lambo. And this is really quirky. Like, this is really unorthodox. This is not standard. I think I've seen Jumi do something like this. Like, Jumi's also a very cheesy player at times. I think I've seen Jumi go for these kind of like charge, like Immortal all-ins. How many gateways are we building up? We're getting up to 8. So it's going to be a 2-base, 8-gate all-in. The upgrades are about to finish up, and now it's go time. Now it is going to be go time here. Lambo, he's droning. Lambo, he's droning up. He does have safety roaches, that is true, but if he drones up too much more than this, then I'm going to be concerned. He's droned up to 61. He's droning up a little bit further here. He's getting up to full 3-base saturation. That feels greedy to me. This does feel quite greedy, droning up to around 66. He's taking his gases. He is getting a safety Spine Crawler. That will help. But we'll see. We'll see if Lambo's been too greedy. We'll see if he gets away with this. Because here comes the all-in. So unlike the previous games, there's no third. There's no third base. Lambo knows this. Lambo, he sees no third. He's more or less aware of the all-in. And right now we need to focus purely on Ling Roach production. And Creator's taking his time. He's taking his time, so the Spine Crawl is finishing up. Roach, Ling is building up as well. Lambo, he is cutting workers at 60, and he's focusing purely on army production. So far, there's a good reaction here by Lambo. He's supply blocked. 5 overlords. Now is not the time to get supply blocked. 5 overlords being built at a time. That is a little bit concerning. The lack of Ravagers is concerning as well. There we go. We have 4 Ravagers in total. They'll be necessary here to deal with those sentries, to deal with force fields. Army's moving in. We have how many? We have 5 Immortals. Okay, 5 Immortals. Thankfully, Lambert didn't get another expansion, so he stayed on 3 bases. Again, he stayed on even just under 3 base saturation with 60 drones. He has a nice concave. He's got side defense. And we're going to be keeping in. Force fields are locked down the Roaches. Yeah, the Roaches and Queens are locked down. Files, oh, they graze the army. Files do graze. Force fields, they lock down some of the Queens. But the sentries are getting low. Sentries are getting low. More Zealots are warping in. Files that don't quite reach the... They don't quite reach the Prism. Prism's still up and running. The Immortal count is still healthy. That's still a lot of Roaches, though. Oof. 1 sentry goes down. He's running out of force fields. Creator is running out. Oh my god. Mobile's going to be connecting. Ooh, taking down the Stalker. Likewise does connect once again. It does feel like Creator is running out of steam here. He has a lot of Immortals, that's true, but what about the rest of the army? He's lacking that buffer. Does get the Roach Ward, but it's already being rebuilt. Already being rebuilt in the main. It's halfway done. We have Ling reinforcements. We're just gathering energy with those force fields, with their sentries, for the force fields. Oh. Ooh, sentry goes down. Again, these battles have been brutal. Server as well. Creator once again, he down moves in. He's got his Zealots. Ooh, another sentry gets wild. And another pile. The Immortal is getting low as well. Boys are being pulled. 1 Immortal falls down to 4 Immortals. 4 Immortals remaining. We need that Prism to move in. As here comes the warp in, but we're getting on top of the Roaches. It's so close. it's actually so close. Takes down the mineral line. Did lose 1 Immortal. 2 of them are so low as well. Very low Immortals. I kind of want to see the Unsiege just so we can move in and save those Immortals. Just so we can juggle some units, pappy. Wait for another warp in. Wow, those graze the Zealots. And slow and steady here by Creator. I mean, Lemon no longer has the economy. Like, there's no longer any mining at the 3rd. So, Creator, he can just chill. Technically, he has a better economy than his opponent. True. He's done what he needed. He will kill the 3rd. Oh, we have some Banelings on the way. Prism now moves in. Oof. Files don't quite connect. And he's going for the kill. Oh no, the Prism! Prism takes a lot of hits, barely survives. Queen waddles in. Banelings, they crash into the sentries. And we need that warp in. We need that warp in. Nice dodge. The sentries go down. Bile of the Prism denies the warp in. Ay, ay, ay. Very nice. Now, the one hero Ravager denies the warp in. If we could warp in, that could have been game. Oh my god. Again, if that warp in finished, you can see how small the army is here for Lambo. But Creator may still have this. He may still have this. You can see drones being transferred. Lambo trying to hold on. Very close, very clutch. Again, the one hero Ravager. I say that also the Queens. If you remember, the Queens did the most of the damage, bringing it down to like a slither of HP. Which allowed for a single bile to bring it down. Ling's going for a counterattack. Creator long distance mining. Ling's going to be here to deny that. Supplies are still very close. I still do favor Creator in a head-on fight. Oh, herbs are going down. Creator force a warp in. Force warp in. We have some slow banelings here to support. Sentry is going to be so important here with the force fields. Pins back some of the army. Does pin it back. Zealots, they deal with the Lings. You need to be so careful with those charges, also not to run into the banelings. Oh my god. Okay, does split. Yeah, nice splits here from Creator. Very nice splits. He avoids the banelings. He's getting on top of the roaches and getting on top of the ravagers. And Creator, he should have enough. He should have enough here. It's still quite close. We could pull the boys. Yeah, the boys are being pulled. Ooh, 2 immortals go down. The Miles. Down to 2 immortals. That was the miscontrol by Creator. Oh, he gets surrounded. Yeah, he gets surrounded. The prism. We cannot save the immortal. The immortal's going to go down to drones, but the zealots are putting in a lot of work. The charge on GG gets called, and Creator, he will claim the series 2-1. He will advance on to the next round. GG. Ooh, GG, well played. Again, the moment the Creator killed the first mineral line, that was game. That was game. When Lambo had to pull the boys from his third base when he lost 18 drones, that was the moment where Creator took a lead, when Creator was looking comfortable. Up until then, it was very close. Up until then, it was very close, very clutch, very back and forth between both Creator and Lambo. Could have gone either way. Creator, he was so patient. At the same time, he was losing a lot of units to Biles. I want to say like 3 sentries and like 2 stalkers went down to the Biles over the course of that first half of the fight. Eventually, though, he was able to break through, trade very efficiently, take care of all the Lings, catch out the Queens, force the moments when Lambo had to pull the boys, and that was the moment, of course, when Creator took that economic lead away from Lambo, and when time was no longer on Lambo's side. GG. GG, well played with that. Congratulations here to Creator as he does claim the series, and with that, let's figure out where we are and where we are headed. Oh boy, as the bracket is being progressing, and we have to figure out where we are. Un momento here, as there's a lot going on and it's a little bit overwhelming. I don't really know where to go. Let's have a look together. Let's have a look together here. Bam. As we can catch up with the bracket, up first we have MaxPax. MaxPax is up against Rebellion in a best of 3 PvP matchup when it goes up against Creator. So we have non-stop PvPs in the upper half of the brackets. They're going to be facing off. They're currently mid-series. Scrolling down, we have ByuN versus Geralt. They face off so often, but they're going to be facing off again in a Protoss versus Terran matchup. But likewise, below them, we have Rogue versus Shameless, also ongoing in a PvZ. I'd be content with either one, but they are both mid-series. ByuN and Geralt, they're 12 minutes into the game. Shameless and Rogue, they are 4 minutes into the game. So they're currently mid-series. Scrolling down, HeRo takes down Young Zest 2-0. HeRo waiting for the winner of Trigger and Percival. That's also a spicy matchup. I know that Percival has been improving a lot, and also his best matchup is TVP. So Percival, he would have a strong showing against Trigger there. I think that's going to be a hard one to call, to be honest. I'm expecting an ace match. Scrolling down, we have Classic versus Rex. Best of luck to Rex. Rex Classic is currently mid-series. And we have Big Gabe versus Hearthstone. We have the Europa versus Europa matchup between Gabe and Hearthstone. Honestly, really nice matchup, really spicy matchup as well. They're competing over on the European server. So the question is, where are we headed? Where are we headed next? Now, I think I'm just going to park myself on the Americas server. The difficult thing here about trying to catch a series is where kind of you're parking yourself. If I'm here in the Americas, I can see both ByuN, Geralt, Rogue, and Shameless. I can see those matches and I can jump into their series whenever they're available. Same with MaxPax and Rebellion, technically, true. I'm less interested in their series, more so in the other non-mirror matchups, just because it's purely PvP up there. I mean, MaxPax, the potential MaxPax versus Creator would be a lot of fun, true, but typically we try to have some variety here, and we try to avoid those mirror matchups, just because we will have PvP. Don't you worry, we'll get there eventually in the tournament, so don't worry. Likewise, if we wanted to catch Trigger versus Percival or Classic versus Rex, and also Trigger versus Percival into HeRo, then I'd have to park myself over on the Korean server. That's where those matches are being held. Or I can head over to Europe for Gabe versus Hearthstone. And again, Gabe versus Hearthstone looks like a lot of really good fun, but the problem is that if I do go to Europe, it's only one series there, so there's most likely more downtime, and for all I know, they could be in the ace match. That's the worst thing, is that I go to Europe, I'm waiting, they come out a game, they're like, oh, we just finished this 2-0. it's like, Like I just wasted my time just waiting for that. So I feel like waiting here in the Americas for some of the other matches, there's a higher chance that I, you know, find a game to get into. So so I can't say for certainty what series we're jumping into next, but I can say a little bit here that it's either going to be ByuN versus Geralt or Rogue versus Shameless, either one mid-series into the next rounds. Technically, I might also jump into MaxPax versus Rebellion, into Creator. The upper half of the bracket is kind of where we're focused, because all of that is on NA. It's all on the same server, all in the Americas. It's all there. Likewise, if you want to check out some of the other matches, I believe TKL is casting in French. I believe he has a series. Meanwhile, Inu, he has a series as well. Oh, TKL, he's casting ByuN versus Geralt. There you go. And so is Inu as well. And so is Indy. Jesus, all the they're all there. Jesus. Indy, Inu, and TKL, they're all in ByuN versus Geralt. When it comes to Shameless' series, we'll click Pommy. Okay, Pommy, he's covering Shameless. Makes sense. And yeah, that's all I have currently. That's all I got. See a shout to Ghost User in the chat. Get Rogue if you can before the Zergs lose. I typically do try to, unironically, I've spoken about this before for our cast. We usually try to cast Zerg players early just because eventually they will be knocked out and eventually it's going to be purely PvPs. So unironically, we typically do that early on in tournaments. That's why we jumped on Lambo series. That's why we jumped on. We gotta cover them while we can. While we can. I remember Rainer beating this with 3 Ravager hit squad from behind the Toss army to snipe the Prism earlier. Yeah, I mean, we saw something similar from Lambo, if you recall, with sniping the War Prism, but that would be a really sick kind of play as well, to kind of set up like some Ravagers behind the army, if at all possible, to go for that Prism, because if you can snipe that Prism, you can just take the wind out of the sails of that all-in. 100%, for sure. But otherwise, we're going to be going on a break. Otherwise, we're going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll have our next series. Again, I'm typically looking at either ByuN versus Geralt or Rogue versus Shameless. I'm looking in that kind of general area, but we'll see. Again, if you want to tune into some of the other matches, as I mentioned before, Indy's casting in Polish, Inu is casting in Korean, Pommy is casting in Russian, and TKL is casting in French. So there's 4 other language streams, and of course Saber. Saber is casting in Chinese. I think those are the only other casters. And Rex is going to be casting when he gets knocked out, if he gets knocked out. True. Este Rex. Otherwise, yeah, we're going to be going on a short break, so take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and we'll see you soon with our next series. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the LiuLi Cup Weekly number 2 with another quarterfinals match. We wrapped up with round 16. Now we're jumping into the quarterfinals. I did mention earlier how I was waiting for a couple of other series to wrap up. We have confirmation. I was giving some updates in the Twitch chat, but Rogue did take down Shameless 2-0. ByuN and herO are just about to jump into game number 2, but another series did open up, and we did decide to split off. Basically, for the previous match for Lambo versus Creator, we were casting, and so was Steadfast. We were both in the same series. Here we have split off. Steadfast is going for ByuN versus herO. We are going for this different TVP. Let's go a fresh series as spawning in the bottom hand corner of ley lines. We have the German Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Mouse. It is HeRoMaRine. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player, the South Korean Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is a classic. And you know what time it is? It is a Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our Terran versus Protoss quarterfinals match. Here we go. Here we go. Coming into this classic, I would say he's coming in as the favorite player for sure, but we have seen Gabe pop off in this matchup in the past with some hyper-aggressive builds, and I want to believe that he can come in with something new to the table here, with something to catch his opponent off guard. We'll see how he does open up. So far, double gas. No surprises here, but double gas opening here out of Gabe, going for a faster factory, going for a delayed CC, going for a much more tech-heavy start. So with this, we can go for an earlier Cyclone, we can go for an earlier Mine Drop into, say, Banshee play, early tank production. Gabe does have options with how he wants to play out. Classic scouts. He scouts, he confirms, he does confirm the double gas. He is fully aware, and with this, he can now decide to be a little bit safer back at home as a response. He's where he can't be anywhere as greedy as he otherwise would like to. From here, does pull away. There it is, factory on said high ground. From here, Classic setting up back at home, just gate expand. Gate cyber expand here out of Classic. From here pulls away, and our eyes are mainly going to be on HeRoMaRine for the first part of this. We expect Classic to go for a Twilight Council opener into Blink, into 3 gateways. We don't really expect too much deviation here from the side of our Protoss player, but from our Terran, this is where he has options. Gabe, he does have options available to him. We'll see what he goes for. Reaper does move out across the map. Moves out. Oh, does take a couple of hits. Does get behind the middle line. Oh, the Reaper is gonna go down. Nice skin up here by Classic. Gabe, he doesn't see much. Behind this, getting into his own 1-1-1, opening up Reaper, Hellion, just a handful of Reapers, handful of Hellions, just for scouting information. We're preserving a lot of gas here, and we'll see what we're gonna spend it on. Likewise, Classic is walling up. He's got his Twilight Council, his gateway here on the low ground. So far, 2 gates for the Twilight Council. He's got his force field as well, just in case. Ready to wall off. Classic, he is ready to wall. As does shade into the natural. Will delay the CC. Does cost him the Adept, so an expensive trade here from Classic, but he will delay. And this is what I was waiting for. We're going for the medevac for drop play, but also the tech lab on the factory. We'll see if we start early tank production. For now, going for the early Cyclone. Cyclone first. It's going to be the Twilight Council. Nice. Does force field, does fully wall off just in case. Classic ensuring the army does not get into the natural. And here we have another gateway. So 3 gates blink into a robo, into a gas geyser on 2 bases. Again, this is kind of the standard go-to nowadays. Very safe play here by Classic, intentionally delaying his third. Building up his army, getting the earlier robo, which means he has earlier detection. Again, in case we need it against Banshee play, for example. Ooh, as Gabe is going to load up, dropping into the main. Now, it's only 2 Hellions. 2 Hellions, they 2 short probes. So we'll see what he can get done. Classic will have time to react. For now, the army's out of position. The army's at the natural. Drop into the main. Yeah, more unorthodox timing here from Gabe. Does get 1, 2 pro kills already, getting up to 3. And from here, he can pull away. He can pull away. Blink is not done. Oof, getting a 4th probe. Oh my god. Does back up. Does boost out. So honestly, really nice trades. I mean, I say trades. Gabe didn't lose anything. Didn't lose the Medevac, the Hellions, or the Reaper. So very, very efficient pickoffs here from Gabe. Gets 4 probes, pulls away, pulls out, back at home. We are keeping the tech lab on the factory. No add-on swap here for the starport. We are continuing tank production and going for earlier stim. Okay, no Banshee play, no Raven play, but early stim. So this can lead into an earlier stim timing. Gabe is setting up back at home, and Classic is moving out to contain to maybe find some damage. Driver Hellions moving in. Oh. I mean, they've already paid for themselves, I would say, but now we're going for a little bit more damage. Oh, gets maybe one more. What a mass. There we go. I'd say one. We do have some extra damage being dealt here with the order tower. Nicely done here. 6 probes going down. Gabe doing well. And here comes the push. Here comes that sim timing that we spoke about. Sim is finishing up. We have +1 that should finish up by the time the army gets across the map as well. +1 and combat shields. A very strong timing here from Gabe, and he's going for it. And again, Classic has lost so much in the lead up here. He's lost 13 probes. I'll be honest, I wouldn't even be opposed to Gabe pulling the boys here. To just pull the boys, stay with +1, to commit to the 2-base all in. I wouldn't be opposed to it. But regardless, he's moving out. Oh. Upgrades are finishing. Tank getting in position as well. And Classic, it's going to be a tough hold. Decent force fields. Classic pulling away. But these Zealots are along for this world. Nice snipe on the Raven. The Raven goes down. Gabe once again kiting back. Dies kite back, breaks through the Zealots, getting on top of the Stalkers. Expensive losses here for Classic. Ooh, losing 2, 3 Stalkers. And Classic, he barely has an army left, down to 4 Stalkers remaining. Gabe, he's going for it. He's so close. He's so close, but now there's an Immortal. Immortal has arrived. Gabe's still just rallying everything across the map, going for the dive, takes out the Immortal. Very nice pick up, and he's done it. Yeah, he has done it. He takes out every Stalker, takes down the reinforcements. He still does respect those Zealots. GG gets called, and Gabe, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Again, a very nice early game here by Gabe, getting, remember, what was it? 13 probes. 13 probes went down in the early game. That was critical damage that set up for the success here of Gabe, for his move out, for his stim timing. And it was a really quirky way he got there as well. I was really interested in his Hellion drop. Remember, whenever we see a Hellion drop opener, typically it's a little bit more committed. Typically we see 3 to 4 Hellions. We have a more dedicated opener with a reactor Hellion production as well to go for those drops, just because it's technically more efficient. It hits later, but with 4 Hellions you can one-shot probes. With 3 Hellions you can one-shot probes. So typically that kind of drop play hits a little bit later. Here it hit earlier, hit much earlier than usual. It was a much more quirky and unorthodox and cheeky build, going for a double Reaper Hellion with a single medevac to just load up, go straight into the main base. He was able to get early on 4 probe kills, and then those same Hellions came back in, got another 6+ probes. Okay. Oh no. Yes, GG. GG, well played. God damn it. Harsum, he got into the lobby, and Harsum, he was like, how about some mech this time? I mean, we have been seeing a rise in popularity of mech in this matchup. True. We have been seeing more of that. Is Gabe want to... he is. I was going to say, is he want to play mech in this matchup? 100%. Will he, though? Will he? As we're getting into Game 2. Game 2 is going to be on Pylon. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of pylon, we have our German Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Mouse, leading the series 1-0. And we'll see if he can claim the series here and now and advance on to the semifinals. It is a HeRoMaRine. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player, with the blue Protoss from South Korea representing Virtus Pro down in the series. We'll see if he can recover. We'll see if he can bounce back. It is a classic. But again, a really strong start there from Gabe, a really cheeky opener, a really cheeky build, and with that, he was able to take a lead, maintain that lead, and we speak about this all the time, but Terran versus Protoss is very momentum-based, where if you get a lead early on, and it goes both ways, if you can get a lot of probe kills early on, if you can likewise get a lot of SCV kills and delay the CC early on from the side of Protoss, then you can just gain a lead, and it's so difficult for your opponent to recover from that disadvantage, from those losses. Not impossible, but it is difficult. The early game is so crucial here for Terran versus Protoss, and we saw that Gabe was able to thrive in that early game, at least in game one. We'll see what he goes for here. Once again, double gas opener, once again going for a faster factory. As a reminder, this led into Reaper, Hellion drop, into early tanks, into fast stim in game one, but we don't have to see the same build. Again, double gas openers are very versatile. We can instead commit into Cloak Banshee play. We can instead commit into early tank production, skip the Cyclone, and go for a ByuN-esque move out with vanilla Marines. We can go into Raven play. We can go into Cloak-less Banshee. Like, there's ways here to go about it. You can go into a Mind Drop, of course. True. We'll see where Gabe takes us. I don't expect the same build. No shot. We expect some variation here. I know Harsim, he was asking for mech. See what he goes for this time. As also welcome on to Pylon. Pylon is one of the more aggressive maps in the map pool, so we expect to see aggression from our players here. It goes both ways. We could see Classic go for like 4 Gabeling Stalker, for example, and just be very in the face of Gabe. We could see a charge-based opener as well, which has been more popular as of late, which is a more of a defensive start kind of build, more defensive play. We'll see. For now, Twilight Council opener. Keep an eye on Classic when it comes to his upgrade of choice. Back at home, once again, opening up Reaper, Hellion, no reactor. Oh, he's committing a little bit harder, actually. Okay. Oh, actually, I say that last game he did make 2 Reapers, but 1 Reaper went down early on. True. So same build, but he's getting a 3rd one. Okay, so he does commit a little bit harder here. Triple Reaper, double Hellion. Now we have our starport on the way, Tech Lab as well. We see Classic being very adamant about scouting, ensuring he knows what's going on. They hit in between the bases. No major damage yet. They will deny some mining time. Hellions, they threaten to dive. Very nice force field. Classic, he defends. He's locking in. And Gabe pulls out. Bleeds out 1 Reaper, but does pull out in the end. Behind this, there's the add-on swap. So we had the Tech Lab on the factory. It goes into the add-on swap into Cloak Banshee. I believe Classic just saw this. Yes, he just saw the add-on swap. He doesn't see the research, so for all he knows, it could be vanilla Banshee, but as we can see, it is Cloak. So Classic has a piece of the puzzle. So Cloak Banshee, we have tank production underway as well. So we're building up our tanks, building up our Banshees. As opposed to the previous game, because of the placement of the Tech Labs, we're not going for anywhere near as early stim. Remember, we had an earlier stim timing, which broke a Classic in game 1. Here, no stim in sight. We'll be getting it later on, I'm sure. But that same timing won't be available. Boost Nation confirms Cloak. Likewise confirms Banshee. Oh, and we cancel. Okay. Cancels Cloak. It cancels the second Banshee, and we're going for stim. So I do like this move here by Gabe. Unfortunately, this is just going to be a later stim than last game is the downside, and you know, some waste of time building a Banshee and building Cloak that never really came into play. I guess this is worth it if Classic overreacts, and as you can see, he is staying on 2 bases. Oh my god. He's opening up Charge, going into Templar Archives, and he's going into Storm. Now, this is a build that has been very trendy as of late. It's a very safe build. Now, this does struggle against stim-less pushes because they hit so quickly, but against these stim timings, I believe this is lined up in such a way where Storm is going to be done in time to defend against the push. So again, this is just very safe here from Classic. Just rushing into Storm on 2 bases. The downside, of course, is late third. So if Gabe doesn't go for an all-in, if he doesn't go for a move out, and if instead he gets a third CC, then Gabe could get ahead economically. But I'm pretty sure Gabe intends to commit with his timing, is the problem. And Storm is almost done. As we mentioned, this build that Classic is going for is designed to shut down the stim timing that Gabe is trying to go for. Because Storm is it's lined up. It's lined up for the army. Here it comes. And Gabe, he does get a third. Okay. I like this. Third CC for Gabe. He's not committing to an all-in. He's expanding. And the third base is actually on par with the third base of Classic, if not faster. Now, typically in a standard kind of macro game between Protoss and Terran, the Protoss wants to be up in expansion. They want to be up a base compared to the Terran player to be equivalent to them just because of how mules work, just because of how the economy works. But here, that's not going to be the case. We have equivalent base timings here, and Gabe confirms. Yeah, he confirms how late the third base is. So really nice confirmation there by Gabe. He knows he made the right choice to expand. Otherwise, he'd be all-inning into Storm, which is never a good thing. Now, a couple of things coming into this. On the one hand, yes, I do like that Gabe is expanding, getting a third base. Likewise, he also confirms Classic. The scary thing here is that Gabe, he, unfortunately, because of how this build and how this army kind of pans out, he has to be hyper defensive. We need tank lines, we need SimCity, we need bunkers. Because this army here can overwhelm. Mass Storm charge lots, this is designed and ideally fights out in the open. Without any SimCity, without any choke points, he can surround the army, engulf the army, storm everything, and a bio army will just melt. So Gabe has to just calm down and turtle up. So far so good. We have our tank line, we have our widow mines. We are lacking depots and bunkers. This is something that we're lacking here that we're going to have to set up. Because this is still looking very open. Still looking very open. Meanwhile, big shout out to Blixen in the chat. God, thanks so much. Thank you so much, Blixen, for the tier 1 sub from a Twitch Prime. Thank you. Thank you so much. We do appreciate the support. As we do see Classic, he does skirt around the edge. You can see he's going to be avoiding the main army. As he heads towards the natural, this position is exposed. There's one tank, there's one widow mine, but the army is out of position. High Templar moving in. Here comes the storm. Oh god, the storms are brutal. And we just collapse on the army. And we collapse on the army. There's still plenty more storms available. High Templar being targeted down. Zealots will overwhelm. And again, this was a big weak point here for Gabe. He was weak, he was vulnerable. And Classic, he will break the third. Yeah, there's no saving this. Does pull the voice to repair. The bunker goes down. Third base will be broken. You see here we're just catching reinforcements as well. And again, specifically against this charged zealot style, you got to turtle up. You got to wall up as hard as possible. Otherwise, this happens. And with that, it's going to be 23 SCV kills. ACVs, likewise catching reinforcements from here. Classic just keeps orbing in. You could argue that Classic is overextending a little bit. I think I would agree. He is overstaying his welcome. But he's done critical damage. From here, he can just back up. He can build up. He's on happily mining 3 bases. And here the soup does lie, in a sense. Right now, you can see that the supplies are close, but the economy here heavily in favor of Classic. From here, Classic can expand and get a 4th base. We have the Bale on the way for Colossus production. We got how many? 6 High Templar? Yeah, 6 Templar. That's a lot of storms. and we'll see if Gabe can recover. Now, at least he saved the base. True, he does save the expansion. And technically, I would say this 4th base is late. It looks like Classic, his plan, the goal, and this also explains why +2 is so late as well. His goal there was to kill. His goal was to straight up kill Gabe then and there. He didn't. Did a lot of damage, true, but didn't kill him. So he isn't really set up too amazingly to get into the mid game. Again, late 4th base, late +2. We're working towards double Colossus production, but until that really kicks in, he's vulnerable. And Gabe, he can punish. Okay, let's go. Classic was hoping for more damage. And I think he could have gotten away with it if he had gotten a faster base. If he had gotten a faster 4th expansion. If it was already getting up and running, then sure, but that's not the case here. So Gabe, he's weathered the storm. We got ghosts. We got EMPs. It was a messy defense, but I defended. Oh. Classic, a little bit trigger happy with those storms. Uh-oh. Gabe, he's moving out. Here he comes. Again, these storms, they gotta connect. First one is pretty good. Second one, mainly zones. Again, the storms are finite. Good, better 3rd storm. Again, the storms are buying time. Colossus has arrived, but now there's a Viking. And the Colossus is so low. Gabe, can he break through? Oh, he gets a Colossus. Breaks through the Colossus. No more splash damage. And only a Gateway army. Yeah, he's done it. He's done it. No Zealots, no Colossus, no Storm. One Colossus waddles in, but it's exposed. No shield battery. Oh, can he get it? Denies the warp in. Yeah, denies the warp in. Takes down the Colossus, and Gabe, he breaks on through again. He wasn't killed by the push. GG gets called as Gabe. He overwhelms and takes the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Impressive play there by Gabe. I had thought the Classic had done enough damage with that storm, with that storm timing, with that push. To be fair, I thought Classic was just going to end the game. I thought it was just going to end the game then and there. I think Classic was hoping for that as well, but he did not do enough. He did not break Gabe completely. Gabe, he survived, he defended, and then from there he outscaled, because Classic, he had no kind of plan for the follow-up. He had no 4th base, he had no upgrades. Like, again, all that was delayed because Classic was so committed, and with him not killing Gabe, that was game. That was game then and there. GG, well played. Impressive play there by Gabe. Whew, as he takes the series 2-0, and with that, we have some catching up to do. Let's catch up with the bracket. Let's go. Let's figure out what's been going on, what has been happening. Okay, oh my god. This I was not expecting. Trigger takes on Percival 2-0, and that was a fast PvP because Trigger, takes down HeRo 2-0. Oh my god. Trigger, calm down. Calm down, papi, calm down. Trigger, for those who are curious, he's in Korea. He's currently in South Korea, so they were playing without any ping. And this is not the first time that Trigger's beaten HeRo. If you remember, god, he's beaten him twice. Once was during a Wardy TV championship, like in the first half of the year. So not the most recent Summer Championship, but a previous one. Trigger did beat him there, and I want to say that Trigger also beat him either in a Wardy TV Monday or a Wardy TV Monday. I think it was a Wardy TV Monday as well, or a Monday Night Weekly, one of the two. But Trigger, he has popped off in PvP. If you remember, after he beat HeRo, he made a tweet. He posted on Twitter, and he said something along the lines of, "Whenever I use my brain in PvP, I lose. Whenever I ape, I win." And that's and hey, he was aping, and he was winning. It was crazy. GG. GG, well played. So with that, we have our first 2 semifinalists. We have Trigger and Gabe. Let's go. We have our first 2 semifinalists. Meanwhile, when it comes to the upper portion of the bracket, MaxPax takes on Rebellion 2-0. We have MaxPax versus Creator, and ByuN versus Geralt is still ongoing. Now, when it comes to our next matchup here, we might have to hold off. What I mean by that is that both semifinals are, I believe both semifinals are casted, if I'm not mistaken. And if they're both casted, that means we have to wait for the other casters to finish their current series. What I mean by that, everyone else is in ByuN versus Geralt. So Indie, TKL, Saber, Steadfast, all the other casters, they're all currently covering ByuN versus Geralt. So I believe you have to wait for them to wrap that up, and then they can come down to Trigger and Gabe. So I think we have to wait a little bit here for them to finish their series. But we'll double check. Yeah. We'll double check. But yeah, I have confirmation. Just letting them know. Just letting them know. Also, a big shout in the chat to Yoko. Yoko3601 in the chat with the Twitch Prime. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Thank you so much for the subscription, for the support. We do appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the emotes in the chat. Hope you enjoy the replay packs as well. And thank you. Hope you enjoy the casting, the StarCraft, and all the content that is made here on the Ducklings. Thank you. Thank you so much. As we will be having some downtime, so just catching up. Clem taking notes. I mean, it was a very aggressive series here by Gabe, but also was able to punish some of the aggression of Classic as well. True. But yeah, for the time being, we will have some downtime. As we mentioned, the goal right now, what the current plan, as we just got another update, MaxPax takes down Creator 2-0, is also in the semifinals. So we do have a portion of the bracket that's slowing everything down with ByuN and Geralt. Unfortunately, they should be at least in game 2. Let me just double check. Let's have a look here. They're in the ace match. Okay, yeah. They're in the ace match. They're on Tokamak, ByuN versus Geralt. Again, all the other casters are in that series. So Indie, Pommy, TKL, Saber, Steadfast, they're all in ByuN versus Geralt. But when this ace match finishes, then we'll be able to start the lower semis. Then we'll get there. So for the time being, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Take this moment to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, hydrate your hydras, and marinate all of your marauders. We'll be back soon with the lower semis with Gabe versus Trigger. See you soon after the break. Oh, see you soon. Bye. See you soon. and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew, oh boy, there was an intense series going on over on the other half of the bracket. ByuN versus Geralt. We were waiting for them to wrap up, and Geralt took down ByuN 2-1 in the ultra late game of PvT. And Geralt is about to start his series against Rogue. Meanwhile, we are going to be jumping into our semis. Let's go. The semifinals are ready. We're jumping into our own Protoss versus Terran matchup, and spawning in the bottom hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the German Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Mals. It is HeRoMaRine. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Canadian Protoss player. We have the Orange Protoss representing Basilisk. It is Trigger. We have the most unlikely of the duos here in the semis. Again, HeRo went down, Classic went down, and instead we have Trigger and Gabe rising to take their place. If you're in the chat, you know what time it is. Predictions are open. Predictions are open. Place your bets because it is Gamma time. It is Gamma time. Best of luck in the chats coming into this. Now, as we step into our series here, Gabe has been looking very on point, very on fire, with some very strong aggressive builds, but Trigger has his own approach to things. I'll be honest though, I haven't really seen much of Trigger as of late. Trigger, he was very active in the first start of the year. Then it was a little bit more sporadic when he would sign up for tournaments and sign up for open cups. Of course, Trigger, he had the performance of his lifetime, being the best player in the Americas, making it to EWC. Had a bit of a lackluster performance there, just gaining experience, working through those nerves as he was on that big stage for the first time. And we'll see how he compares to Gabe. I lean towards Gabe here, but Trigger, hey, he can pop off as well. Can pop off. But now, okay, economic opener for the first time this tournament, by the way, bearing in mind against Classic, double gas openers every single game against Classic, but here against Trigger, ranks expand into a later factory, into a later second gas, guys. So we can see here that Gabe, he is going for a more economic opener. I say economic, safer as well, because the CC is on the high ground, not on the low ground, so he's being a little bit careful with things, not as greedy, not as efficient as he could otherwise be, just to be a little bit safer. On the flip side, send that open out to Trigger, and welcome one and all to Ultra Love. Ultra Love is one of the more, I was going to say aggressive maps in the map pool. I would say that it is one of the more aggressive maps, but at the same time, we often see either polar opposites. We have the extremes, either some really aggressive short games or some much longer games instead. We either see one or the other. Very rarely do we get the in-between. The reason for this is because the area in between the natural, the third, and the fourth is very vulnerable, very exposed. So we have seen a lot of all-ins take over this location and then bam, hit into the natural or hit towards the third. You can pick or choose how you want to approach things and where you want to head, and it can be difficult to defend and set up your shield batteries in the correct position. Goes both ways, of course, where the Protoss can also be hyper aggressive as well. But we'll see what builds we go for. For now, Twilight Council opener out of Trigger. We have our 2 gateways in the main, and we have a Robo here in the low ground. So far 2 gate. We should be going for a 3rd gateway as well. Going into a charge base opener. Okay, Trigger, what has he seen across the map? He saw the CC on the high ground. He's aware of the more economic build. Despite that, still opening charge. Interesting. Now, as a reminder, Classic went for something very similar. Classic game 2 on Pylon against Gabe, if you remember. Classic, he went charge. He went up to a Temple Archives. He went up to, what was it, 4 to 6 gateways on 2 bases, all before the 3rd. And if you remember, we were talking about how that is designed to shut down the 2-base all-in, to shut down these all-ins, shut down these stim timings, and to shut down Terran aggression. Ideally, in the end, Gabe scouted, and Gabe took a 3rd. In that second game against Classic, you remember, he saw what was going on. He saw how late the 3rd base of Classic was. So Gabe, he just backed off. He took a 3rd base, and he took more of a defensive stance instead. And he was able to take it in the end. Here, we'll see how Trigger approaches this. As looks like Trigger, he's expanding. He is not rushing into Storm, but ooh, is going to be delayed. Yeah, nice delay here from Gabe. Shuts down the probe. Behind this, going into his tech labs, going into Banshee and tank production. No stim. Ooh, going for an earlier push. He's going for a ByuN move out. Now, this does hit pre-stim. This hits very, very fast, really early on. Charge will be a factor though. And again, this is why charge-based openers are so safe, because this will be ready in time for the move outs, if Gabe were to commit. Does turn back around. Waiting for reinforcements. Third base now being taken from Trigger. Gabe going back in. Does threaten to dive, does go back in. And gets a couple of extra workers. So far, 4 pros have gone down for 1 HeRoMaRine. Very efficient trades here from Gabe. Observer gets across the map, but it gets spotted. Observer gets spotted, and we can see that Gabe, he's not going for that seamless push. He's waiting for Stim. Waiting for Stim. And this is a good call. As we mentioned, with this early charge timing, if Gabe would have pushed early on, he would have lost everything. He would have lost everything 100%. Instead of Gabe, he backs off, he waits for more upgrades, he builds up his army, and he'll have a greater chance at claiming a fight. As they do spot each other. Uh-oh. Gabe has to be careful not to be caught unsieged. He has to be careful. Charge is done. Gonna dive on the tanks. Yeah, Trigger is going for the tanks. Gabe is getting caught out. He does kite back. But he's losing a lot of Marines. Losing Marines, losing tanks as well. That's 1 tank going down. He'll lose 1. Saves the other 2, but that's going to be a loss here for Gabe. Again, Gabe, he should not have been out here in the open. We spoke about this with Trigger. He wants to fight, and he's going for the kill. No bunker. Yeah, no bunker. Tanks are exposed. He's going to get 1. 1 tank goes down. Ooh. And so does the other. Yeah, Trigger, he has done it. He has broken the natural base. Ay, ay, ay. Gabe caught with his pants down. Losing every single SCV. And this is critical damage. This is critical damage. Again, when we saw Stim, I thought Gabe was going to be more defensive, but GG gets called, and Trigger, he takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, it's very, very similar to that second game that we saw on Pylon between Gabe and Classic, where we did mention how Gabe, when he saw that it was a charged storm kind of build an opener, that he was more defensive. Gabe, he was more defensive, he turtled up back at home, and he received the Protoss player instead. And it looked like that was going to happen here. Gabe, he backed off. He was on the map, he backed off, he came back home, he was building up his army, working towards Stim, and then he moved out. Then he moved out, and we spoke about it, like, you don't want to move out, not against a charge-based opener, not against the build that Trigger was going for, and Trigger, he just collapsed in the army, shut Gabe down. Did shut him down. With that, GG, well played. Trigger does take lead in the series, and now we're getting into that second game, and we'll see what we go for this time. We'll see what map we load into as well. Do we go into a larger map like Tokamak or Maganatha or Incorporeal? As we're going to be loading into a smaller map. Oh, sorry, as we are going into a larger map, we're going to be loading into Tokamak. Let's go. Here we go. As we are getting into our next game. Again, Tokamak is one of the more defensive maps in the map pool. One of the larger maps as well. Second largest, second only to Maganatha, but much more defendable than Maganatha just because of the base layout. Here we go. Just catching up with the chat. Why didn't he siege? If you're referring to on the low ground, if he sieged up there, he would have lost everything. Unfortunately, he was just caught with his pants down. As we mentioned, if he was aware of the charge base opener, being more defensive and staying on the high ground, staying at your natural base would be the call to go for. It's what Gabe did against Classic. Didn't quite do so here against Trigger. Here, he was more active. He moved out in the open, got caught out. Got caught out, and here we go. We're now getting into game number 2. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the German Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Mouse. It is HeRoMaRine. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Canadian Protoss player. We have the orange Protoss representing Basilisk, leading the series 1-0. It is Trigger. But again, because it was a charge-based army that Trigger had, and because Gabe was caught out of the open, if he did siege, then, I mean, regardless of whether he sieged or not, he would have lost those tanks, just because of the time it takes for them to siege up with the animation, and of course how quickly the charge-based army does collapse on that as well. So, again, unfortunately, he was just caught out in the open, caught with his pants down. And Trigger did snowball from there. did snowball, but now we're going to be loading into a much larger map, and we expect completely different builds already. Double gas opener out of Gabe, so he's going for a faster factory, going for a much more tech heavy style. From here he can open up Cloak Banshee, he can go for early tanks, we can go for early cyclones, go for drop play. We'll see where Gabe takes us. This is more unusual. The reason why I say this is because we're on Tokamak. This is a larger map, so typically aggression is a little bit less favorable here on Tokamak, but the probe scout here from Trigger will confirm. If Trigger didn't scout that, he may just assume that it was something more economic, as he doesn't go further into the main. Yeah, still in position. He sees no expansion. And now he confirms. Yeah, he sees factory. Does see the factory timing. Trigger is aware. Oh, so Trigger is aware. Back at home, he's setting up. Now, when it comes to these charge builds, we expect them on Ultrala, we expect them on Pylon, we expect them on Torches. What do these three maps have in common? Shorter rushes and spiked ground. Like, they're more aggressive, like they favor more aggression. On these larger maps, it would make more sense if Trigger did open up Blink instead. But we'll see. Technically, he could go Stargate, which would be crazy. But, also on the table. There it is. That's it. I think we barely brought it up towards the end, but yes, I mean, Stargate is on the table on Tokamak. Let's go. So Stargate opener. Now, whether we open up Phoenix or Oracle yet to be determined. Phoenix space openers are designed to shut down drops, shut down HeRoMaRine drops, Banshee base play as well. This can shut it down quite hard. The downside though with Stargate openers is that you are vulnerable to all-ins, specifically 2 base all-ins. 2 base all-ins, which have risen in popularity in the meta, can cripple this, but the reason why we spoke about how Stargate play is more viable and more of an option here on Tokamak is because of how large the map is and how defendable it is. So all-ins are just not as effective here on Tokamak to begin with, so you feel safer opening up Stargate. I also should mention that it's not as effective, not saying that it's not impossible to pull off, so we'll see what Gabe goes for. Because he'll try to like commit and double down. Reaper Hellion poking in. Oh. Does rush past. And there's no wall. Yeah, there is no wall. Probe's going to be going down. Massive Hellion shot's going to be going off. Now Shield by Replacement does save the probes. As Reaper say bust into the main base, and again, you can see the Phoenix picks up 1 Reaper at a time. Probes are going down. Again, Phoenix is a struggle against early game aggression. And that's going to be 4 dead workers. Not a bad start here for Gabe, considering he kills probes and he gets scouting. Now he knows. Now he's aware of the Phoenix, and back at home he can get ready. We can get ready with Vikings, with Cyclone production as well. Tech Lab is on the way. Oh. This Gabe is moving out. Sets up. And Trigger, he does spot the HeRoMaRine. He's aware. Looking for a way in, trying to bait out the mine with his Adept. Ooh, too premature though. Adept goes down. And not able to bait. Does take down 2 HeRoMaRines regardless though. So some nice pickles, and behind the sea expands. Again, Trigger, he's not committing. He just pokes in, gets 2 HeRoMaRines, backs off, takes the 3rd. Takes the 3rd base, and behind this is going not Phoenix Colossus, he's going Phoenix into charge. Okay. Going into a charge level composition. It is a little bit safer than going into Colossus. You know what, Gabe back at home, building up. You have Stim on the way, +1 as well. As Gabe, he's sharking around. He's hoping to try to catch any stray Phoenixes. If Trigger's too active on the map, then he may get caught. Behind this, bearing in mind the upgrades are still not done. As Gabe is making his way towards the 3rd. Trigger, he does miss this completely, by the way. Does miss the move out. Gabe, he does scout, he does confirm the third, and he backs off. As we mentioned, there's no stim here. Like, we're lacking upgrades. The goal was to catch a Phoenix, but didn't find one. Didn't find any Phoenixes. Pulls away. Does reinforce. And the upgrades are about to kick in. Yeah, here come the reinforcements. Now we can push. As Gabe moves out, Phoenix is moving in. Taro will defend. And now it's go time. Now it's go time. Now we have an army. Now we have stim. Back at home, what do we have to defend? No shield batteries, but that's a lot of zealots. Oh boy. I don't think Gabe has seen this, by the way. Like, he doesn't know if it's going to be Colossus or zealots. Here we go. Charges have arrived, and now we just collapse on the army. Gabe has to get the hell out of here. Phoenix, they lift up a Marine at a time. Let's go. Mine shots going off. Okay, the Marines, they can hold their own. That's a lot of zealots going down. Again, the Marauders did a great job tanking. And we're just waiting for extra warp ins. And again, I'm still not convinced here that Gabe has enough. Zealots, they just show up those Marines so well. A nice force field. I'll pick up there by Gabe. Ooh, but from Medevacs are going down. Yeah, Medevacs are falling. There's no more support. And Gabe, he will lose this army. As he will lose the final Medevac. Does have the mine. True. Oh! There's a mine connection. More Wood Mines rocking up. But these were expensive losses here for Gabe. Not just the Bio army, but the Medevacs, right? The Medevac count was reset. Oh! Ooh. Nice mine connections, though. Okay. Widow Mines are popping up. Trigger, with enough zealots, he can overwhelm this army. But again, he's had some messy fights. It's been messy. Does it one. Oof. We'll lose that Phoenix. Alas, doesn't have enough reinforcements, not enough zealots. We need that War Prism. We need some way to reinforce. Getting a pylon. He's down to one Phoenix. As he backs up. He backs off. The game does continue. Again, some messy trades, some messy fights. You can also tell that the Trigger, he's so close to breaking Gabe. He knows it. But that's going to be 3 Widow Mines here to defend. There's 3 mines. There's 4 Marauders as well. I'm not so sure Trigger can break him. Throwing away another Phoenix. Throwing away, what, 5 Zealots? Oof. Main army comes from behind. It was a little bit mistimed. Mine just going up, trying to force friendly fire. Not bad. It does force it, but more Widow Mines have made it. Boys are being pulled. Does pull the boys, takes out all the zealots, and Gabe holds. Whew. Gabe, he holds on, doesn't lose. He only loses 2 SCVs, barely any workers. Yeah, Gabe is holding, and now his army is just getting better and better over time. +1 is now done. +1 defense. Behind this Trigger, his 4th base is late. The reason why it's so late is he was hoping he could just break it Gabe here and now. Once again, a little bit mistimed. We'll lose these zealots. The rest of the army comes from behind. Yeah, the armies, they come in one after the other. They're not lined up, and with this, Gabe, he's going to force the ace match. He defends, he survives. Now we have 2-2 on the way. Ghost production, 4th CC. There's still no 4th base for Trigger. Aye, aye, aye. It was close, though. It was close. I can see a world where if Trigger had preserved his Stalkers, I'm referring to the mine shots, if he had preserved the Stalkers, if he had preserved some extra Phoenixes as well, I can see a world where he could have done enough damage. He could have broken the 3rd, but alas. In the end, bled out too much. Did bleed out too much. And over time, it's just being outscaled. There's no splash damage, right? There's no Storm, there's no Colossus, there's no Disruptors. There's no backbone to this army. The Dark Shrine just finished, so we can warp in Archons. So there's going to be Archons accessible here, but we already have Ghosts for EMPs. Gaby's almost maxed. He's almost maxed out. And Trigger, this is his last real army. He's doing what he can. Drop across the map. You have defensive DTs, likewise DTs willing into the mineral lines. When behind Dark Shrine, he's doing what he can. But there's only so much he can do. As Gaby's snowballing out of control. Catches the sentry. We got how many zealots? We got 18. 18 zealots. The army's a little bit overstimmed. True, but we can always just pick up. We don't just lift. Doesn't even need to. GG gets called. Gaby ties up the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Ooh, GG. GG, well played. Interesting build there from Trigger, opening up Phoenixes into charge, but then committing essentially into a 3-base all-in. We were emphasizing just how there was never a 4th base. It was never a 4th base. There was never any further tech. Never any ambition to go into Storm, to go into Colossal, to go into anything else. Just pure Zealot. And again, it was meant to kill, and it almost did. We spoke about it. Unfortunately, we had some inefficiencies. Unfortunately, we had some inefficiencies from Trigger when it came to bleeding out Phoenixes, when it came to bleeding out some key units. And in the end, GG. In the end, GG, well played in the end. HeRoMaRine does outscale, and now we're going all the way to the ace match. Let's go. We go into the ace match, going all the way to game 3, and we'll see how this story ends as we are getting into ley lines for that final game. Let's go. Here we go. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the German Terran player. The German Terran, we have the red Terran representing Mouse, tying up the series 1-1, forcing the ace match. Can he go all the way? It is HeRoMaRine. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the orange Protoss player. We have the Canadian Protoss representing Basilisk. It is Trigger. Go. Let's find ourselves here in that final game, and we'll see how Trigger does adjust coming into the ace match. Now, every game so far in this series, Trigger, he has been relying quite heavily on charge. Game 1, he opened Twilight Council, opened a charge, and he was able to punish the aggressive nature of Gabe. Game number 2, once again, double gas, by the way, double gas opener. But game number 2, we saw Trigger go for a Stargate opener, followed by charge into Phoenix Charge all in as well, where he barely was not able to break Gabe. Coming into game 3, do we go charge once again, or do we go into Blink Stalkers? Do we go into something more standard, more macro? Go. Against Gabe, I wouldn't blame Trigger for opening up Twilight Council charge again, especially on ley lines. I feel like there's more potential here for Gabe to be more assertive and more aggressive, and maybe you want to try to punish that. But we'll see. I don't expect to see another Stargate opener. No shot. Not 2 games in a row. Be crazy. For now, to have our faster factory. Checking Trigger's vision, he didn't see much. For all Trigger knows, there could be a CC on the high ground. He didn't see the factory, didn't see the gas geyser, so Trigger working with some incomplete information. And we'll see what Gabe goes into. Reaper moves out. We have a safety shield batteries on the way. So far, Gabe just opening up Reaper Hellion. Not going for any early add-ons yet. But we're waiting for that. Oh, meanwhile, we have our tech of choice, Twilight Council. No Stargate, so Twilight Council open out of Trigger. We'll see if for the first time this series he opens up Blink. It's possible. Could go for it. Gabe pokes in, is deflected, hallucination moves out to scatter across the map. And we have our 1-1-1 setup. Reactor on the racks. We should soon be seeing that tech lab. Tech lab's on the way. Gabe does open up triple Reaper, double Hellion. Are we going for the medevac? Are we going for the add-on swap? Does try to bully back those stalkers. The stalkers are getting very low. He's going for the dive, and he gets it. Nice pickup. He gets one stalker. The Hellions, they just walk in. Oh, and this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand here. This should not have happened. Losing 3, 4, 5 probes. Ay, ay, ay. Losing up to 6. Can we get 7? Oh, can we get 8? Oh, good. Yeah, 8 probe kills here in the early game. That is insane damage. And we're not done because behind this add-on swap into Cloak Banshee. Both Banshees are on the way. 8 probes for 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions is well worth it here for Gabe. Gabe starts off with a lead. He does start off with a lead. Again, a brutal start here for Trigger. Unfortunately, he just wasn't able to wall up. Did not stop the Hellions. And this is going to be a brutal follow-up. Bearing in mind that we are going into tank and Banshee production, this means the stim is going to be more delayed, and it does mean that Gabe, he may actually decide to push out with vanilla Marines with an abundance of tanks early on. Oh, never mind. He only makes 1. So only 1 tank, then into the add-on swap. So we are very, very light on tank production. Much, much earlier stim. Banshee moves out. Banshee gets spotted. Cloak is just now finishing up, and the detection is not ready. No shield battery in the main. The one Banshee can get a lot done. We're going in. Yeah, he's going. Oh, never mind. He thinks about it. He sees the robo. He backs up. Does back up. Does pull away. So far, so good. Trigger is holding. Behind this, going for Storm on 2 bases. I just realized this is a blink-based opener, yes, but he's going into a massive gateway explosion. He's going 2 gate, 6 gate. He's going 2 base, 6 gate with Storm before the 3rd. So very 2 base heavy. Now this means a couple of things here. It means that if Gabe does commit with Stim, if he moves out with Stim here and now, Storm is going to be ready. Right, Storm, as you can see, it's halfway done. I mean, it's being chronoed as we speak, so Storm will be ready for the fight. The downside, I mean, again, this is actually really similar to Classic versus Gabe Game 2 on Pylon, where Trigger, his 3rd base is very delayed. It's a very late 3rd. So Gabe, I would say that the call to make here is just to expand. Expand, get a 3rd base, and have an equivalent economy, if not greater economy than your opponent. But we'll see, because I feel like Trigger wants Gabe to push. Because of how late the 3rd is. And the Observer sees. Yeah, he sees the move out. Trigger, he sees the move out. Storm is ready. Likewise, he has eyes on the Banshees. And here come the High Temple, here come the Storms. It's still a small army for Trigger, but if the Storms connect, then he can pop off. Loving the pre-spread. Gabe, he expands. Okay. Let's go. He does expand. This first Storm. Ooh, a little bit Trigger happy. Yeah, second Storm did whip. The rest are connecting. High Templar going to be going down. A bit of a messy fight here for Trigger. Yeah, very messy engage. Yo, we got slow lots to defend. Oh, we forgot charge. Yeah, he forgot. He forgot charge. No. Yeah, did forget charge. You can see Trigger. He has a pretty big bank. He had the money for it. I'll be honest, I just assumed he had it as well. No. And Gabe is popping off. Gabe is pushing forward. Storms can buy some time. Nice snipe on the tank. Nice Storm as well. On the minefield. Single wood mine left. But again, without charge, those fighting these marauders is just so difficult. Yeah, so difficult here. Trigger trying to force his army back. In a very tense fight. And Trigger holds. Trigger, he holds on. Did cost him a lot though. Lost an Archon, lost High Templar, lost 5 Stalkers. But does save the base. Likewise, Gabe getting his own. As it all settles here, I do favor Gabe's position. As I mentioned before, typically the Protoss player wants to be up in expansion, and Gabe, he wasn't all in. Sure, he doesn't break Trigger, but the third base was already laid, so the economy is still lackluster for Trigger. Gabe has a superior economy, which is rarely seen in TVP for the Terran to be up. But Trigger now has charge, true. He has charge, he has storm. He can still take a fight. Mind Drop comes in from behind. Forcing the recall. Task Force, and here we go. Trigger, he has to commit. Nice storm. Okay. Very nice storms. Jesus. Okay, storms are connecting. 1 EMP lands. Nice mine shots. Mine shots are popping up, and we coming from behind. Yeah, Gabe, he comes in from behind. He surrounds the army. He collapses in. Archons go down. And Trigger, this is the army. 1 High Templar. This is what's left. High Templar gets the hell out of there. HeRoMaRine, he does take the fights, and Gabe is just snowballing from here. Again, he already had the superior economy, and now he's getting a 4th CC. There's still no 4th base for Trigger. Very late 4th for the Protoss. Late 4th, late expansion. It's more of an afterthought. And Trigger's just being outscaled. He's just being outscaled here. It's pushing into SimCity. It's not going to work well. Storms have potential, true, but this is a beefy army. There are just so many Marauders. There's just so many Marauders. Storms, they tickle the army. As there's 1 storm left. These are the final storms. And Gabe, he can just stim. He can just stim. He can win from here. And GG gets called. Trigger, he's out of steam, he's out of army, and Gabe, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played, congratulations. HeRoMaRine, he will claim the series, he will advance on. Again, an intense back and forth here, between the 2 players, but Trigger, he was hyper aggressive throughout this entire series. Very often, his 3rd base and his 4th base were an afterthought. Very often, he was very, very committed, and it was being punished for that commitment as well, as Gabe was often able to get an early lead, and often able to just outscale Trigger over time by claiming that 3rd base, by embracing the economy, and with that, snowballing out of control. GG. GG, well played. Gabe, you will claim it, and we have our first finalist. We have our first finalist for LiuLi Cup weekly number 2. And now let us head on over here to the rest of the bracket. Let's figure out what's going on. Let's figure out where we are headed. Here we go. Okay, from the top, we have, as I mentioned before, Geralt. Geralt, he took down ByuN 2-1. ByuN is out of the tournament. Geralt is up against Rogue. They're currently locked into a best of 3. I believe they're being covered and casted by Indy. I believe Este Indy is covering that series. He is, and Rogue is up 1-0. Oh, and the game might end. I just panned over. Rogue is up 1-0, and Rogue is going for a German taxi. He's going for, oh my god, he's going for the German taxi, and it's going to be a tough hold here for Geralt. Yeah, it's going to be a tough hold. He doesn't have Blink, doesn't have Storm, doesn't have +1. Storm is finishing up in 10 seconds. I won't do the play-by-play, but basically, Geralt, he's in trouble, and the series might end. Now, if the series does end, and again, check out Indy's stream, check out Steadfast stream as well, MaxPax is patiently waiting, and we have the potential for a MaxPax versus Rogue in the upper semis. Yeah, it looks like Rogue, he is breaking Geralt, yeah. He is breaking him. So we are gonna be getting ready here. Just setting up the players. And there is GG. GG, well played. Rogue, he will take down Geralt 2-0, which means we have our next series. We have a next series. We have our next matchup. We have MaxPax and Rogue. Let's go. And the winner goes up against Gabe. So 2 series left. We're nearing the end of the broadcast here. We have 2 series remaining. Bam. 2 series left here. Rogue versus MaxPax into Big Gabe. Beautiful. Gabe standing, so he is standing tall. He stands above all others. Ah, let's go. As Vitas are underway, so we're going to be going on a short break. It should only be a short one, like a couple of minutes. So take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water. Drain everything. And we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes here with the upper semis as MaxPax versus Rogue is about to begin in a couple of minutes. See you soon. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the upper semifinals of the LiuLi Cup, or the LiuLi Weekly number 2. We just wrapped up with the lower semis. Gabe is patiently waiting in the grand finals for one of these two players. Who's it going to be? As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Danish Protoss player. The Danish Protoss, we have the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg, the South Korean Zerg, representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our ZVP. Oh no! Saber. Because hopefully everything is okay. Saber, he is the Chinese caster. He is the organizer of this event. He is LiuLi, by the way. He is LiuLi. So hopefully everything's okay. Maybe some latency issues. Hopefully he's able to join us for the remainder of the series, game 2 and onwards. Hopefully. As we jump into our initial matchup so far, Hatchgas Pool, standard opener out of Rogue, likewise Gate expanded to Cybercore out of MaxPax. Now MaxPax, he's pretty standard in his approach. We don't really expect too much deviation. We expect him to open up into a third base, Stargate opener into a third, into Blink, into the mid game. He can be more aggressive and assertive in the mid game, but we expect the early game to be pretty stable here. What I mean by that, if you remember, if you were here earlier for the Creator series, true, Creator versus Lambo, Creator was an animal. Creator, he was going for DTs, he was going for Glaive Adepts, he was going for Robo 2-base all-in. True, like we saw a lot of hyper-aggressive builds out of Creator in every game of his series against Lambo. MaxPax is not that kind of player. he's not that kind of player, unfortunately. So we expect some more stability out of MaxPax. From the side of Rogue, he can be a little bit more diverse in his play. For a long time last year, he was known for just playing very macro and just rushing into lurkers. And then with his lurkers, he would pop off with Nidus lurkers all over the place and maxing out on Hydra Lurker Viper as well. That was Rogue's style for a time, but then that kind of shifted as the meta shifted as well to the more 3-base aggression. 3-base play is very common here in ZVP. Getting up to 3-base saturation, getting a 4th base just for Larva, and then just going for a Ling Hydra all-in, or Hydra into lurker tech, or yeah, just even going into Muta play. Or even in the last series, I did point out that Rogue did go for a German taxi 2.5 base all-in against Geralt. So aggression is what we expect out of Rogue. Meanwhile, Stargate opener to MaxPax, Stargate into a 3rd base, Oracle base opener is what we're expecting from our Protoss player. Oh, opens Void Ray. Okay. And now this is still very much so viable. A Void Ray opener is designed to do what? Is designed to hunt down this Overlord. To hunt down the Overlord, to deny vision, deny scouting, and to hide something. What do we hide? It could be nothing, right? This could just be Void Ray into an expansion, into an Oracle, into Blink, into just a standard game. It could just be a standard game, or it could be a faster Twilight Council into Glaive Adepts. It could be a second Stargate into a Fleet Peak, into a Tempest Rush, into a Carrier Rush. It could be into Mass Oracle. It could be, there are a lot of possibilities here. And what's important is that Rogue won't know. He sees the 3rd base timing. Void Ray moves out. Again, he's hunting down the Overlord. So the reason why you want to keep this Overlord alive and avoid this first Overlord is because it's already dead. The reality is this Overlord is already dead. This Overlord cannot get back home. Instead, we're looking for one of these other Overlords closer to the main base, as the Void Ray does miss it. Yeah, it does miss the Overlord. That's a little bit unfortunate. Ideally, want to catch an Overlord like this, then go back and get a second Overlord. But MaxPax is yet to find one. So he rotates back around. Twilight Council follow-up into the Forge. Takes down the Spore. That's a kill, not a cancel. Not bad. Kills the Spore. Oracle comes in from behind, catching transferring workers. That's going to be 4 drone kills. Ooh, does take a little hits. Does take a little hull damage, but despite that, 4 drones going down. Void Ray comes in from behind, goes for another drone. Barely does get it. 5th drone kill. So far, some nice damage. And now we can start hunting down these Overlords. They're spread out. There's potentially 3 Overlord kills here. Potentially. Does find one. The other heads into the main. What goes down. We just see Rogue going for a Roach run, so going for a standard safe follow-up here, getting into Roaches, but still just trying to keep up with his aggression, trying to maintain his own economy, trying, and still droning. Rogue still droning up. As we now have the answer here as to where Rogue is going to take us. He's going for a Roach Horn opener into a fast Hydra Den. So he's playing a Roach Hydra. From here, if he gets into +1 range, he could try to rush into Lurker Tech. If you recall, I just spoke about this. I just spoke about how Rogue last year, he was known for rushing into Lurkers. Like, that was his go-to, that was his style. He might be going back into that. Maybe. So Gateway Army does threaten. Void Ray going for the Queen. And the Queen is going to go down. Nice Knight. Queen does fall. Because they come in from behind. Going for another Queen. At least hoping to. This Void Ray does survive. And Rogue, he's not taking. We spoke earlier about 3 base all-ins. There's a 4th base just for Larva. We are taking gases here, but we're not saturating. We have purely Ling Hydra in production, and we'll see if Rogue ever does drone. He's trying to move in. Oh, does take a Ace to the face. Yes, Ace traps are going to be connecting. Just the one. And Rogue, he is making a couple of workers. Looks like he is saturating his gas geysers. And he's taking. Okay, we have the answer. He's taking up. It looks like he does plan on joining up the 4th. So he will join up the 4th. Ooh, Void Ray goes down to the Spore. Which means with this Infestation Pit, access to Hive, access to Lurkers. We're building up to a much longer game. Rogue, he's macroing. Rogue, he's macroing up. Meanwhile, MaxPax working towards Storm is going to be his splash damage of choice. Rogue is applying at least some pressure here. Won't get much done. He won't get much. MaxPax, the High Templar are ready. Now, there is a window in time. There's a big window here where Rogue is vulnerable. What I'm getting at here, Lurker Den. Lurker Den is in production. The Hive is in production. It doesn't have Lurkers yet. No Lurkers available, and here comes Storm. And what is it to defend? Ling Hydra. Ling Hydra is so vulnerable to Storm. So MaxPax is going in with his Storm timing. His goal here is to break Rogue before Lurkers. Before the Lunkers. Lings, they try to come in from behind. Nice Storms. High Templar, they're exposed. But the Storms are connecting. Oh god, the Storms are connecting. Looks like that was the final Storm. Yeah, no more Storms left. And with that, Rogue, he holds. He holds, he defends, he shuts down the Archons, shuts down the Oracle. Whew. And Rogue, he gets away with Lunkers. The Lurker Den does complete, and here we go. We have 5 Lurkers on the way. MaxPax, he misses his timing. It was close. He had some very nice Storms, but a really good angle there from Rogue coming in for a flank, forcing additional Storms, getting on top of the High Templar. And Rogue, he's running away with this. He's running away with this. Now we're forcing Sky Toss. Again, as Lurkers hit the field, we have to take to the skies. So MaxPax is going to the skies. He's going into a second Stargate, Fleet Beacon, into Sky Toss, into Tempest Carrier. And now the roles have been reversed. Now suddenly, there's a window where Rogue can try to break MaxPax before Sky Toss. Before Sky Toss really gets going, Rogue has potential to pop up. As he has survived the Gateway aggression. I say that MaxPax still being very active. He has to be careful. He doesn't want to get caught out. As Lurkers are coming in from behind. MaxPax has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. Just focusing on clearing up creep. Ooh, nice aces. Okay. Stays trapped, does pull buff. He pushes into the bases. Bold move here by MaxPax, but hey, he does catch 3 lurkers. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 lurkers going down. Nice storms on the Hydras. See MaxPax fighting out of range of the lurkers. As they'll say, do catch some reinforcements. They lay rogue. MaxPax, he gets away. And what's important about what's happening here, MaxPax, his goal isn't to kill the base. It isn't to kill workers. It's to keep rogue busy until what? Until Skytoss. We spoke about it. MaxPax is also fully aware that he's vulnerable. He's aware that if he backs off, if rogue gains map control, then rogue is going to start pushing into bases and MaxPax will not be able to defend. It's so crucial here that he's forcing rogue to stay back in there. With a small army. Like, this army isn't really too threatening. But he's doing everything he can here to keep rogue pinned. Oh, force a recall as he does overextend. Does recall. Does recall in time. Leading out a couple High Templar. Ooh, and after that recall, rogue moves out. Doesn't have much creep. Rogue is pushing. Moving on the right hand side. We get a decent storm. Rogue being very ambitious with these lurkers. Yeah, the defensive setup here is solid. We have cannons, shield batteries, Tempest as well. Again, Tempests are ideal in this position. Ooh, as the ground army does overextend. Gotta be careful. But the lunkers are going down. Oof. Yeah, Rogue, he rotates. MaxPax sees in position. He shuts down the army. So many Hydras and lurkers going to be falling. Oh, do we get the revelation? Oof. And MaxPax, at this point, he can aim move. he just sent that across the map. What do we have to defend? Let's have a look here. We have 3 lurkers on the right-hand side, which are very low. We have 8 lurkers morphing in, so there's going to be 8 lurkers defensively. MaxPax is maxed out. Rogue, he threw away just a little bit too much. It's going to be a tough hold. We do see MaxPax splitting up his forces. Okay. Does split up. Force the storm. The army on the left-hand side is looking very battered, very bruised. But MaxPax is gaining ground. He's moving in. And GG gets called. As you mentioned, Rogue, he just cannot stop the army. Not anymore. And MaxPax takes game number 1. Whew, GG, well played. And MaxPax does take a lead. Again, we did have a back and forth here. Both players had certain timings. Both players had their moments. We saw that MaxPax, he tried to break Rogue before Lurker Tech, but Rogue had a very nice fight defensively, shutting down the army. But he was not able to make use of his Lurker timing. As we were mentioning, we were praising MaxPax specifically for how active and how aggressive he was earlier, with how aggressive he was with his ground army as he was taking into Skytoss. It was so crucial that he was working and building up his Tempest and his Mothership while he was being active on the map. And again, he wasn't really killing much. He was just trading with the army and keeping Rogue busy until it could snowball out of control with that Skytoss. GG. Once he got up and running, that was game. That was game then and there. With that, MaxPax does take a lead, and now we're getting into game number 2. Oh, what were the vetoes? Oh my god. what were the vetoes? As game 2, we're going to be loading into a very unorthodox map. One of the most vetoed maps in the map pool. We're going to be loading into Torches. Okay, let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Torches, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Storm Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Torches, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the red Zerg representing Team Falcons down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back as he is mining through those gold patches. Oh boy. Let's go. It is Rogue. And this is why this is one of the most vetoed maps in the map pool. It's second only to Last Fantasy, but it's a rare sight, but for good reason, because of the center gold bases and because of these golden walls as well. You can very quickly mine through. MaxPax scouts, he checks, he confirms that the wall has been mined, and now he can scout for the hatchery. Wow, we're rushing into the gold base. MaxPax is about to confirm. He confirms he's aware. We do see the Korean protosters very often react to this with a forge and with a cannon rush. Unfortunately, there is no forge here for MaxPax, so he cannot react with a cannon rush to punish this, but we'll see how he does approach this nonetheless. There it is. Now, this is going to be a bit of a later forge, but again, this is just very common. It's a very common reaction. We saw this a lot on Alkione, on the previous map pool, if you remember. Alkione, we saw the gold bases in the center, and we often saw cannon rushes to shut down the golds. We're seeing it here as well. Again, the map may be different, the map pool may be different, but same thing here to punish gold bases. As here comes the cannon rush. Boys are being pulled. It's going to be a tough hold. Remember, this forge is a little bit delayed, so it's going to be later cannons. And herO, can he get on top of this? Oh, ooh, pylon does finish. Yeah, the pylon does complete. A nice pylon. Oh, nice block off. Throws down a second cannon. The first pylon should go down. He's trying to get on top of that cannon. Oh, that's a kill, not a cancel. Oh, bit of miscontrol there. The probe goes down. The probe goes down. The pylon is killed. We're getting on top of the cannons, but the first one is going to complete. Yeah, the cannon does finish. And so will the second cannon. Yeah, second cannon as well. So much wasted DPS. Lings are amassing. Rogue, he transitions this into an all-in. He's like, you know what? You can have the gold. I didn't even want it. I'm just going to mine through these walls and just go for the kill. And MaxPax has nothing in the main. No shot. There's nothing in the main base. He's flooding in. He has the wall. Even then, I don't think it's going to be enough. Oh my god. Does wall to buy some time, but only for so long. Again, there's nothing in the main base. There's no pylon here to get a cannon. Instead, Alas going for the wall, which is the best case scenario for MaxPax. He wants to fight at the wall. Wants to fight with SimCity. Does kite back. And he will be able to shade away. Okay. Yeah, he shades away. He re-walls as well. Very nice reactions here by MaxPax. And Rogue is being shut down. He's going for the pylons. More adepts are amassing. And it's getting worse and worse for Rogue. Yeah, it's getting worse here. The boys are being pulled. We have Lings trying to bust down that wall. But MaxPax holds. Yeah, MaxPax he holds. GG, well played. As MaxPax will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Again, MaxPax, he was able to punish the hatchery with the cannon rush, which is a very common reaction to these gold bases. We saw it in the previous map pool with Alkione. We're seeing it here on Torches as well. And we saw that Rogue, he tried to react and respond to this by pulling the boys and by just going for the drone Ling all in, by pulling the boys, pulling the drones, and going for the flood. Unfortunately, MaxPax, he reacted really well, and he also was able to just force these fights on the low ground. He ensured that his economy was safe, and more importantly, he walled off. He was able to wall off that wall, wall off that that entrance into his natural to delay reinforcements. And with that, GG. With that, GG, well played. With that, congratulations, MaxPax does advance on. And now we have the grand finals. We have our grand finals here. It's going to be a best of 5 between MaxPax and HeRoMaRine. Oh boy. Hopefully I can get to the European server. Hold on. As we're all heading over to Europa for the finals. And again, that's also the downside of... Hold on, we'll get there. That's also the downside of Torches, is that, sure, like, you can go for these cheeky builds, but at the same time, because we see them so often, it becomes more and more second nature to scout for that sort of thing. To scout, to shut it down. So Rogue, he took the bait. did take the bait. And with that, we're going to be going on a short break. We're going to be going on a short break here. Vetoes are currently taking place, and it is going to be a best of 5. Best of 5 grand finals. Take this moment to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, and we'll see you soon in a couple of moments here with our finals. See you soon. Oh. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals, those grand finales here of the LiuLi Cup weekly number 2. Oh boy, here we go. We have returned. We are back, and again, we have an interesting pairing here. I mean, MaxPax was coming in as one of the favorite players, but we have a surprising Terran representative in the finals to face off against him. Let's go. Spawning in the left-hand corner, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Terran player, the red Terran himself, from the land of Germany, representing Mouse. It is a HeRoMaRine. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Coming into this, MaxPax is going to be coming in as the favorite player. That is true, but Gabe has been performing quite well here tonight, and we'll see if he can threaten MaxPax. He has taken maps in the past. Can he take a series, though? Can he take a best of 5? That is the big question. You can make an argument that MaxPax has some of, if not the best, PvT in the world. I think I would say so. I think I rate his PvT higher than his PvZ or PvP as well. It's definitely up there. Definitely up there. It is definitely terrifying. So we'll see what Gabe has in store for us, as Gabe does open up double gas. Double gas opener, faster factory, faster tech. MaxPax pokes in. And from here, we have seen some deviation out of MaxPax. He has messed around a little bit, depending on the map, depending on the series, with Stargate openers, with Charge Base openers, with Blink as well, with 3-gate Blink, with 4-gate Blink. So MaxPax, he can be very versatile in this matchup. Meanwhile, we have yet to see mech out of Gumiho here tonight. True. But this might be the moment where he whips the mech out. In this series, I wouldn't be surprised. In a best of 5, I'm sure we'll see it once. For now. Now it does move out. Poking in is going to be opening up a Reaper Hellion. Does open up Reaper Hellion. MaxPax going to be a proxy here on the right hand side. Now MaxPax, he's going to be hyper aggressive here. The goal is to delay the Twilight Council. He delays his Twilight Council, he delays Blink, he delays his upgrades, he delays his tech in favor of what? In favor of hyper aggression with 3 gateways. So 3 gate opener here out of MaxPax with one of them being proxied. The goal is to overwhelm the ground army, to push in, and to shut down the natural. Oh boy. Here we go. So we spoke about how versatile MaxPax can be in this matchup. We're seeing it here with something much more aggressive. Ooh, takes down the Adept. Sorry, takes down the Reaper even. They do trade. Do trade back and forth. I would say a better trade for MaxPax. He's building up his army. Defensively for the time being. As he's going for his delayed Twilight Council. 1 probe going down. Gets 1, gets 2. Can we get 3? We can. Oh my god, the probes are lining up, getting 4 probes. And this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand here. MaxPax, he was meant to be the aggressive. That's going to be 7 probes. Gabe. Okay. Meanwhile, here come the Stalkers. Oh no, he gets baited. Not paying attention. Mine shot goes off. A nice connection here from Gabe. He does defend. He shuts down the Stalkers. He loses 1 SCV, but alas, he does evacuate. So Gabe, he attacks, and Gabe, he defends. Oh, tempted to dive in. Tempted. Oh, mine goes down. MaxPax, I mean, now he defended, now he can focus on his push, and he is trying to break through. The tank only just now began. It's going to be a tough hold here for Gabe. I thought he had done enough to keep MaxPax pinned, but the answer is no. Yeah, the answer is no. MaxPax is overwhelming. The tank is still on the way. Oof. Yeah, losing so many SCVs. That's going to be 5 SCVs going down. Again, this is the 3-gate opener coming into play. So MaxPax is overwhelming. Again, there was no bunker, no defensive setup. All these SCVs going down. Oof. Losing 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, not quite. 12 SCVs. And Gabe, he's holding for the time being, but look at the follow-up. Blink. Blink is almost done. And once Blink finishes, we can try to dive into the main base. We can avoid the main natural. We can avoid the natural, avoid the tank. Oh, MaxPax is supply blocked. Yeah, brutal supply block. We're waiting for a sentry, waiting for hallucination. Waiting for high ground vision. Otherwise, we could just dive on the tank. There might be too many Marines, though. What's the plan? Blink is done. He's going for the tank. Yeah, he's going in. Goes to dive. Tank goes down. But has it taken too long? Has it taken too long here? The second tank does arrive. Gabe holds. Gabe is holding. MaxPax forced to expand. Supply block did slow him down. So Gabe is hanging in there. And from here, the game continues. Now, MaxPax's third base is late. This is a late third base. MaxPax, he was very aggressive, very in the face of Gabe. MaxPax now diving into the main base. Tank is in position. Oof. That's an aisle. That was a kill, not a cancel. That was a kill on the eBay. From here, it does back up. And she doesn't find much damage. As Gaby's trying to move out, but he gets spotted. He has to get out of here. Oh, yeah, not quite. Full medevac goes down. Ay, ay, ay. MaxPax doing a great job containing. Even here, Gabe, the army's looking quite... it's looking a little bit thinned out. Here comes the Siege. Gabe is looking quite committed here on 2 bases. As there's still no third. No thirds to see for Gabe. Banshee gets caught out. Remember, there's no cloak. Oh, does get away. Does get away. And we have the answer. Gabe, he's expanding. Okay, third CC is on the way, so Gabe, he will expand. He's going to try to mac around with this. We're headed towards the mid game. Meanwhile, MaxPax fully saturated on 3 and soon taking a 4th base. So MaxPax looking much more comfortable. The one thing that MaxPax is lacking, of course, is splash damage. The Temple Archive is on the way, so he's working towards Storm. But MaxPax needs more time. Need more time. Gabe is pushing in. Same time, Zealot drop across the map. Nicely done. Catching out some SCVs, distracting Gabe. He's distracted. MaxPax trying to capitalize on the army, on the distraction. Nice siege up though. Now with the Zealots, they get on top of the tanks. They're getting 1, 2, 3 tanks going down. Ay, ay, ay. I was praising Gabe for his positioning, but MaxPax was all over it. And MaxPax will clean up, and Gabe will at least pick up all the Stalkers. Not bad. Even with these reinforcements catching up the Immortal. MaxPax overextending. As he comes in from behind. Gaby's holding his own. Again, a very messy fight. Gabe lost all of his tanks. MaxPax lost a lot of Stalkers. So we had a back and forth. Now we have Storm. And we're getting into the mid-game. Okay, we're calming down. We're settling into the mid-game here. Whew. Nice my positioning. Again, what's up with Gabe today? What's it's all over it. Este, Gabe. Now he's aware of the expansion. He's aware of the 4th base timing. He's yet to confirm whether or not it's going to be Storm. He knows. Yeah, he does see the High Templar. Ghost Academy is almost done. Okay, just getting into his ghosts. We'll see who's able to strike first here. I mean, there are a decent amount of High Templar here. We got 4 High Templar, each with at least 1 Storm. Ghost is still on the way. So MaxPax, he can hit this Storm timing. Can hit it. At the same time, massive warp into the main. Gabe out of position. Ooh, the Ghosts are getting caught. Yeah, massive pickups. He gets 1. He's going to get 2 Ghosts. Okay, clutch save. Save saves one of the Ghosts. MaxPax moving in. Nice storm. Storms are somewhat connecting, but that was the final storm. It still may have been too much though. Yeah, it was too much. MaxPax, he breaks through. He breaks through. GG gets called, catching reinforcements, and with that, MaxPax, he will take game number 1. GG. MaxPax does take the first game here. Again, he was just distracting Gabe, catching Ghost more importantly, and he was able to hit with his storm just before the Ghost really impacted that fight, really impacted the army. GG. GG, well played. But shout out to Gabe, as he was holding his own for quite some time there. We had that back and forth. Again, just a really crucial moment there for MaxPax with his drop in the main base, with the move out as well. Here we go. We're getting into game number 2. He woke up on the big side of the bed. I like it. I like it. Let's go. Gabe is underrated. I think a lot of people give Gabe a lot of respect. Like, he's a solid player. He's what, top 2 Terran in Europe. True. I think something about Gabe here, which I appreciate currently about the off season, which I was definitely a little bit critical, is that the word to go for, or maybe a little bit sad, is that Gabe, historically, he rarely plays in these tournaments. He rarely plays in open cups. He's been vocal about it. He just doesn't enjoy it. He doesn't enjoy it. He did play in open cups during the ESL Pro Tour, during EPT, just because of the points that they would provide. But after the Pro Tour subsided, he would rarely really play, and he spoke about it. He just didn't really enjoy playing in open tournaments, just because of the downtime, because you had to wait for casters, because he would often play TVPs, which is true. He played against Classic, Trigger, and MaxPax. He's played nothing but TVPs, and he's not too fond of the matchup, so he just often wouldn't play. He often just wouldn't play, so we just wouldn't really get much of him outside of bigger events. So, and that has changed recently. In recent times, he's been more active. He's been playing in more tournaments over the past month, I want to say, which I appreciate. I do appreciate. But here we go. We're getting into this and spawning in the bottom hand corner of Ultra Love. We have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player, the German Terran representing Mouse. It is HeRoMaRine. Again, he's a rare sight in these open tournaments, so great to see him actually taking part and taking the initiative and gaining interest in it once again. Really cool to see. Whether it's the LiuLi Cups, whether it's Monday Night Weekly, those are typically the 2 that Gabe does partake in. I don't think Gabe plays in many Wardy TV Mondays, if any Wardy TV Monday. But some of the other weeklies, sure, does step in. Again, in recent times. So now we do have our initial openers here. It is going to be a Rax Expand economic opener out of Gabe, going for a delayed second gas. Guys are going for a delayed factory, so much more economic. Meanwhile, this time we have no proxy gateway. If you remember, MaxPax, he opened up last game with a 3-gate opener with a proxy, and he was able to deal a lot of economic damage early on, and we had a shaky back and forth between the 2 players. Here we have our Twilight Council opener. And again, no proxy. The Twilight Council opener is on time this time, and now we can embrace a more standard game. I wouldn't be surprised if MaxPax is more aggressive with Stalkers this time, referring to a 3 or 4 gate Blink Stalker opener with a Robo, with a Prism. We'll see how MaxPax does embraces. How he embraces his tech, his Twilight Council. Meanwhile, we do see Gabe going for the add-on swap, opening up Cyclone. So Cyclone opener just to be safe as he expands. And And we have the initial 3-gate blink. So 3-gate blink here by MaxPax into the robo on 2 bases. Again, this has become the standard opener in TVP. This is what you expect to see. It's very rare to see 2-gate openers into a third, except for maps like Tokamak or maybe Maganatha. Maybe on some of the larger maps you can get away with that. But for the most part, 3-gate blink is what we expect. Alongside the robo. There are some players that skip the robo and expand first instead, and it can be quite greedy to do so. Meanwhile, Gabe moving out with the initial mine drop. Just a singular Widow mine. Behind this, going for the tech lab on the the tech lab on the starport. Interesting. Can go into Banshee play. Medevac does boost in. And shouldn't get much done. MaxPax does pull away. Pulls away in time. Medevac taking a lot of damage. Does at least scout the Twilight Council, but the Medevac does boost away. Whew. Does barely boost away in time. And Gabe going for the Raven, not the Banshee. Okay. Likewise, he does have an early move out. Trying to catch out a Stalker. Ideally, he was hoping to catch out the Prism. Uh-oh. Prism does slip by. Okay, he's on the chase. But who catches who? MaxPax, he does barely snipe the Cyclone. Cyclone goes down. Medevac as well. Nice catch at the same time. Drop into the main. Boys are being pulled. Boys are being pulled. Nice control here by MaxPax. Gets away from the auto turrets. Gets further into the bases. And Gabe commits. Catch the Immortal. Does catch the initial Immortal. Getting a little bit chaotic. Rogue players moving out. That's still going to be 7 SCV kills. That's Marines. They pounce on the third base. MaxPax, he's breaking out though. Gets a tank. But he will not save the base. Yeah, barely not. Massive cancel here on the third. Nice damage here by Gabe. He will lose everything though. Every Marine goes down and he shouldn't kill a Stalker. He shouldn't and he doesn't. So on the one hand, sure, Gabe, he canceled the third, which is really nice. It's a really nice start here for Gabe, but it costs him the entire army, and here comes a counterattack. Here comes MaxPax back at home. The bunker's halfway done. We have 1 tank in the main, 1 tank in the natural. The main base is vulnerable. We'll see what MaxPax goes for. So he does spot the bunker. Just trading. Double of boys are being pulled. MaxPax, he picks off 3 SCVs. Gaining map control. Same time he defends back at home. He trades against the Marines. Nice target firing. Again, there's no stim. So he gets, what, 4 or 5 Marines. MaxPax is re-expanding. Now we could, after sniping the third base, we could see Gabe just commit here on 2 bases, just move out and try to break MaxPax before Storm, but nah, it's Storm. It will finish by the time the army gets across the map. Storm is almost done. Gabe is trying to move out. Third CC on the way, so Gabe, he is expanding. He's still being active, quite active actually. Is he being too active? Remember, Storm is complete, and he does take a Storm to the face. Gabe has to get the hell out of here. Oh god. Yeah, the Storms are brutal. He's going to be chased down. Medevac falls as well. Gabe, he will lose everything. Yeah, the tanks, the main army. KP flew too close to the sun. Now he does at least trade, true. Did trade, was able to catch some Stalkers. Did force the Archon. But it's going to make it that much more difficult for Gabe to expand. much more difficult. So MaxPax is getting his 4th base, and he's being active outside. Again, the goal here should be to contain. Spots the move out. Here comes MaxPax. Here's Storm on the minefield. Ooh. Widowmine's going down. There's one Widowmine left. Nice spread. Nice spread here out of Gabe. As he turns back the army, but there's still more storms left. Still, what, 3 storms remaining here for MaxPax. Gabe, he just wants to expand. He just wants the 3rd. Let's see if he can get it. Storm once again zoning. For the most part, Gabe, he pulls away. Yeah, pulls away. That's the final storm. Yeah, no storms left. No reinforcements either, but MaxPax is in the bases. Yeah, Zealots into the natural, Zealots into the main. MaxPax just causing a distraction. He will lose these Stalkers and the Archons. Expensive velocity for MaxPax. But what about the bases? What about the main base? As more SCVs are going down. Forcing friendly fire. Getting 13 SCV kills. Nice economic damage. And again, we're getting a little bit messy here. On the one hand, nice damage, but MaxPax, he lost his Archons, he lost his High Templar. Well, still some expensive trades. And Gabe, he has a counterattack. MaxPax is on 71 probes. Given time, he will overwhelm. He will just outscale Gabe. Gabe, he has to stim in. But there are storms waiting for him. He cannot push into storms. Oh god. He cannot move in. And now Colossus have arrived. MaxPax, he's outscaling. He's outscaling. The quality of the army here is insane. He's got Colossus, Immortals, High Templar. From here, it's just going to get larger and larger. Okay, he's not quite ready for this. And here comes MaxPax. He's moving in for the kill. Right now, there are no Vikings. No, there's no answer to the Colossus. Boys are being pulled. Storms, they do punish. Yeah, they punish the Bio army. The boys are doing what they can, but MaxPax, he has done it. GG gets called, and MaxPax, he will take game number 2 and extend his lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. He will extend his lead. Again, we did have somewhat of a back and forth here, but MaxPax did critical damage earlier when he got into the bases. Yes, on the one hand, he was trading out some key units, that is true, but he was still crippling the economy and he was still maintaining his own. He was on 4 bases, he was on 71 probes. He could afford those trades. Gabe could not. Gabe could not afford it with that. GG. GG, well played. Now, MaxPax, he's 1 game away from claiming the series and becoming our champion. Oh boy. I believe back-to-back. Yeah, MaxPax, he is last week's champion. Last week he took down Cure in the finals. Can you do the same to Gabe? Oh boy. Here we go. We're getting into our next game. Gonna be getting into Tokamak. Oh boy, Tokamak is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Much larger map. Oh boy. Max much better than Trigger? I don't think anyone was talking about Trigger. What? What? Here we go. We're getting into our next game. And coming into a larger map here, this is where I do favor MaxPax. I do favor players looking to be a little bit more defensive, building up into the mid game. We'll see how Gabe is able to deal with the problem that is Tokamak. Let's go. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Snystorm Gaming, leading the series 2-0. It is MaxPax. spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. We have as opponent, we have the German Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Mouse. It is HeRoMaRine. Go. As well, going on to Tokamak. Tokamak is one of the larger maps in the map pool, much more defensive as well. Specifically, what I'm referring to is that building up on 3 and 4 bases, you can defend, you can turtle up, you do have the defensive advantage even harder than on other maps because of the rush distance, because of the ramps as well, the points of elevation. It is easier to defend on Tokamak with your 4 bases than on other maps. So you can take a more defensive approach. It's possible, but we'll see. We shall see. Double gas opener out of Gabe, going for a faster factory, going for faster tech. And we'll see what Gabe goes for this time. Last game did have a more of an economic start, with a singular Widowmine drop as well. We've yet to see Gabe really embrace Cloak Banshee play. We haven't seen any earlier move outs either. Because the map is so large, Gabe, he could even try to hope that maybe MaxPax would cut some corners and be greedy and then try to punish him. But MaxPax, he scouts the factory. Does scout the factory, he knows. So MaxPax is aware. Just by comparison, Gabe played a similar game against Trigger, but ended up way ahead. It's a little bit different. As a reminder, when it comes to the Trigger series, Trigger, he had very different openers, very often opening up charge. And if you remember, very often Trigger, he was intentionally delaying and staying on a lower base count and a lower economy. Like, Trigger was hyper all in. If you're referring, like, we were criticizing Trigger not having a fourth because he was all in. So Trigger not killing Gabe would often set him behind, right? Like, he was often not getting a fourth base or delaying his third as well, delaying his own economy. Like, Trigger was hyper aggressive in his series, which was crazy. Like, I was not expecting that out of Trigger. He was playing a lot more all in, a lot more committed. Just different styles, different builds. Whereas MaxPax isn't, right? MaxPax, he is, you know, taking these faster expansions. He is always has like an eye on his economy, I should say. As we have our Twilight Council here from MaxPax. Opening up Blink. Has been Blink basically every game, except for game 1 where he went to 3 gates. True. As Reapers, they do try to rush past. They do actually get past the force fields. Not bad. Boys are being pulled. Mine time is being lost. Causing a bit of chaos. Causing some havoc. Gets 1, 2 probe kills. Oh. And looking for a third. We'll get 1. Get 3, 4 probes. Not bad. 4 probes go down. I believe the Hellions did get away. Just barely. So not a bad start for HeRoMaRine, as he will even delay the third. Oh. Does delay, killing another probe. Getting 5 in total. Nice start. A nice start here, and the follow-up is going to be Cloak Banshee. We spoke earlier how we haven't actually seen much Cloak Banshee play out of Gabe this series, but I get scouted. MaxPax sees everything. He confirms that Cloak is on the way. We'll see if a Gabe does cancel. We saw this previously in today's broadcast. I think it was against Classic where he canceled Cloak. Now they're still going for it. So getting into Cloak, building up his tanks. Do see MaxPax back at home. He is gearing up as well. MaxPax, I glossed over it. He did go 2-gate blink. Yeah, he went 2-gate blink into a third, so much greedier build here by MaxPax, going for a delayed third gateway. I mean, hey, Tokamak is one of the better maps where you can cut corners. As MaxPax, he shouldn't be able to nice stim. Going for the Marines. And the tank will punish, gets 1 Stalker. Better trade for Gabe. Takes down a Stalker for 2 Marines. Let's see what Gabe goes for. As Cloak is done, Banshees are moving out. We have 1 Banshee on the left, we have the other Banshee on the right. There's no shield batteries in the natural, but there are shield batteries in the other bases. So MaxPax has time to react. We'll lose 1 probe. As the other Banshee does actually weave in towards the natural. But there's detection. Yeah, there are Stalkers, and MaxPax, he deflects. He deflects well. Now, from the side of Gabe, he does have a stim timing available to him, but every game so far that we've seen from him this series has been expanding. He's been getting a 3rd base. Like, at no point has he ever committed into a 2-base all-in. Not yet. So, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking that he'll expand again. But we'll see. Nice catch of the Stalkers, okay. Gets 1, 2, 3 Stalkers. That's a lot of losses here for MaxPax. And Gabe expands. Gabe expands, gets a 3rd. As he's moving in. Does move in, getting caught unsieged. Nigel's are going to be going up. You will clean up all these Zealots. Yeah, breaks through the Zealots, gets over the Stalkers. And Max actually lost too much. He lost too many workers earlier, lost too many Stalkers in the follow-up as well. MaxPax, he's pinned back, and Gabe, this is his moment. Yeah, breaks through the Zealots, and he should break through. He should get on top of the 3rd. There's 1 Immortal trying to hold on. Shield batteries out of energy. Again, that tank barely survived. Just barely. It's still up and running, still getting so much value here. Massive tank shots going up, and Gabe, he will break the 3rd. The 3rd base goes down. MaxPax, he does warp in across the map, and he's racing back across. And he's racing back home. And this is going to be the beginning here of the comeback. The beginning of the comeback. It's 15 probe kills. Tank finally goes down. But it doesn't matter. At this point, it's too late. It's too late. The damage has been done. MaxPax is down on 2 bases. Again, just a much stronger early game here from Gabe. This is also why I was surprised he expanded, because he could have pulled the boys and just ended it here and now. Like, so I was a little bit surprised. But sure, Gabe just backs up and gets further ahead. Just backs up, claiming his 3rd. Macroing up. And there's not really much here for MaxPax. The one chance he has are Storms alongside the backstab, right? He has Storms, and he can maybe go in with his Prism into the main. But you can see Gabe getting ready. Widowmine does borrow. He's moving in. Nice Storm. Storm. Oh, well, God, we're sending in the Storms. Oh, no, to Gabe. Where are we looking? Yeah, Gabe, by the way, is distracted by the Prism, and he stands in every single Storm. Ay, ay, ay. Pappy. what's going on? As MaxPax does take a very strong fight. From here, I don't think he can break Gabe, but he does take the fight, does hold, and now he can re-expand. He can take his 3rd base. This is the beginning here of the comeback for MaxPax. As Gabe stood in all the Storms. And we have more Storms coming in. Oh boy. He is moving in. Baits out the mine shots. Yeah, Widowmines are getting caught out. There's the first Storm. We have 2 left. 2 Storms remaining. Vikings forced to land. Ooh, a little bit trigger happy with their Storms. Zeal's not coming, and that was the final Storm. How many gets into the middle line, and so many SCVs go down. The Archon shots, 23 SCV kills, and no shot. MaxPax, he has recovered. He's back in this game. Not just back in this game, he's looking to kill Gabe. Lands another Storm. And he's going for it. This was meant to be the comeback. This was meant to be the first point of the board. After that previous fight, after the death of the third base, I thought that was it, but no, never mind. Never mind. Just land the storms. That's all you gotta do. Just land them. GG gets called, and MaxPax, he will claim the series 3-0. He will be this week's LiuLi Cub Weekly #2 champion. GG. GG, well played. Impressive comeback there from MaxPax. As Gabe, he did so well for himself. He had a stronger early game. He was punishing the economy, killing probes. Likewise, the Banshees were distracting. He was able to catch the army on his side of the map and just snowball from there. He broke the third base, killed the Nexus, and from there he was just getting further ahead. As a reminder, like, there was definitely a moment there where Gabe, he could have pulled the boys to secure the kill, but he chose to expand, which I don't think was a bad option. Like, I think both options were very much so viable there for Gabe. He expanded, took a third base, backed off, then he pushed back in, and he took the worst fight possible. So he stood in all the storms. He lost his army, he lost his momentum, and lost the game then and there. GG, well played. Very impressive play there by MaxPax to just claim the series. Very impressive. I feel a little bit robbed of a game 4, but regardless, GG, well played. Impressive there by MaxPax. Having the tenacity to just hang in there despite things looking dire, despite things going poorly for him, was able to bring it all back and claim it in the end. GG, well played. Congratulations here to MaxPax, but a special shout out to Gabe, because even though Gabe goes down here in the finals, the fact that he made it to the finals was very impressive. Again, to get here, who did Gabe beat? He took down a classic. He played nothing but TVP, by the way. Fun fact, I mentioned this earlier, I mentioned it again. Gabe, he rarely plays in online tournaments. This is one of the few times that he has, and one of the reasons why he rarely plays, he cited the fact that he is not fond of the Terran versus Protoss matchup, and he knows that whenever he plays in these tournaments, it's going to be pure Protoss anyway. And it's like, you may as well do the latter if this is going to be the case. Like, so he's not too fond of the matchup. Despite that, did well. And hey, he did play against nothing but Protoss, true, but he did well here. Took takedown Hearthstone, takedown Classic, takedown Trigger as well. Sure, he went down to MaxPax, but a really strong performance nonetheless out of Gabe. And I hope to see more of him. I hope that he doesn't get sick of TVPs. Hope he's able to stomach it and actually play in more of these open tournaments, just so we can see a little bit more of Gabe. Would appreciate it. Regardless, GG, well played. Congratulations to MaxPax and to Gabe as well for making it to those finals. Also, shout out to Let Me Play With Your Kitties as well. Thank you so much. Papi, thanks so much for the Twitch Prime as well, for 16 months of support. Thank you. Do appreciate it. And also for Acer313 for the donation for the $13.37. Thank you so much. We don't often get donations here on the channel. Again, we don't have like a donation bar or donation goal, so we don't often get them, but thank you so much. We always do appreciate what few donations we receive. Thank you. As another day, and I should cheer for MaxPax, but he just seems so OP in the matchup, so I won't. GG HeRoMaRine. Played well. He played well. Gabe, he played well. By no means that I feel like this series this finals was one-sided. Like, Gabe, he held his own. He had his own strong moments as well. There was that back and forth, and even in game 3, like, I do feel like that was Gabe's game for sure. Like, I can see the series going further into a game 4 and maybe into the ace match as well. Regardless, GG, well played. Congratulations. And with that. With that, we are going to be wrapping up. We're going to be wrapping up here for the evening. Again, it's quite late here in Australia. It's like 1 a.m. What is it? It's 12:30. it's 12:30, but almost 1 a.m. in the morning. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. We do appreciate the support as always, and we're going to be heading off for the time being. When it comes to the rest of our schedule, when it comes to the rest of our broadcasts, un momento here. Hold on, just setting some stuff over here to Saber. Let's catch up on our schedule. Bam, here we go. As you can see, we have our weekly schedule. We cast more StarCraft than any other channel out there. More StarCraft than Steadfast, more StarCraft than Wardy. And we just wrapped up with our Friday evening broadcast. And tomorrow we're going to be live with the Platinum Esports League monthly tournament with the August edition here of the Platinum Esports circuit. Let's go. Let us go. I believe that's our next broadcast. Let me just double check. Yes. Technically we could have a morning cast as well, but we did decide not to have a morning cast because we have the Thermal 2v2 circuit. True, it's not on the schedule as you can see here, but the Thermal 2v2 circuit is over the weekend. 2 days of playoffs. We have Saturday and Sunday going to be full of Euthermal action. We don't cast it, but we do admin. Here on the CranKy Ducklings, we do admin the event. We work behind the scenes. Unfortunately, it means that we won't be able to cast it here. I believe Wardy and Steadfast and Euthermal as well have been casting and covering it on their respective channels. Instead, we do work in a different capacity for the event. But we do well. We do well. And again, much love to Senor Slappy. Good friends, good dear friend. We're always there to help out, and yeah, that's going to be over the weekend. That is also why our weekend is a little bit lighter than usual. Usually we have 2 casts a day, but over the weekend it's going to be 1 cast a day. It's going to be the Platinum Esports event, the Platinum StarCraft 2 League, I should say, and Sparkling Tunic Cup. I should also mention that there you can see StarCraft Evolution League is also pinned on Sunday, but that shouldn't be there because it is going to be clashing with the circuit, with the 2v2 circuit. So again, after Tunic Cup, we're going to be heading off and focusing on the Euthermal event. Again, that's going to be on Saturday and Sunday after the cast. So we're going to be casting first, and then bam, running the tournament. So that is the plan over the weekend. When it comes to next week's broadcast, we have everything you would expect. We have the Wardy TV Mondays. We have StarCraft Evolution League. We're going to be covering the replays over the course of the week. We have Pegasus Cups. We have, what else? We have the Pondcast, of course. We have LiuLi Cup next week. This is a new weekly. True. I should emphasize that as well. Welcome to LiuLi Cup. This is week 2, and this is a new weekly tournament, and there's going to be an end-of-month finals as well, where all the top players get invited. They get invited into a bigger bracket, into a group stage, followed by a bracket as well. That's going to be at the end of the month. Oh boy. When it comes to StarCraft, there's a lot going on. We have the 2v2 circuit, we have the StarCraft Evolution League, we have Maestros to StarCraft, we have RSL. We did cast the Revival StarCraft League qualifiers for Season 2 a couple of days ago, and the main event begins in a couple of weeks at the beginning of September. So that's another big event on the horizon, of course. We have the option to cast it, but we have other events that we have to focus on as well. We will most likely cover the playoffs, probably not the group stage. Not the group stage of RSL, but most likely the playoffs instead. Tentatively, that's what I'm gonna be committing to. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. I'm sure there may be people tuning in for the first time. Here on the CranKy Ducklings, we've been casting StarCraft since 2017. It's been a long time. eight years of StarCraft, puppy. 8 years. We've been casting since 2017, but we haven't been casting full time until end of 2019. Basically, COVID era of StarCraft. When COVID hit, that's when we decided to cast full time, and we have been casting on a daily basis every single day, all day, every day since then, for the past 5 years. I say all day, every day. We've had 4 days off this year, 4 days off. So I do apologize for having 4 days off. How dare we? How dare we? Otherwise, we're always live. We're always live. We're always casting something. There's plenty of contemplative StarCraft. I wish we could do more, to be honest. There are so many events going on, and often we have to turn down casting because there's just so much overlap. And it would be nice to sleep. It would be nice to sleep at some point. Otherwise, thank you so much to Lone Wolf as well for resubscribing for 2 months. Thank you so much for resubscribing. Otherwise, I appreciate it. Who is an American broadcaster that has other tournaments? American broadcaster. Ooh, is there any? Yeah, I don't really know what you're asking, unfortunately. Like, here we're Australian. I don't know if you knew that. I'm from Australia. That's why it's almost midnight here. Sorry, it's almost 1 a.m. here. Wardy's from the EU. Pig, he's from Australia as well. So the Pegasus Cup, I guess, is catered towards NA. But yeah, I don't know if there's any American broadcasters that run tournaments. The closest, I guess, is Cheesedelphia. True. Cheesedelphia. Oh, and SS2 Safe House. True. It was announced officially a couple of days ago that the StarCraft 2 Safe House is going to be happening in September, if I recall correctly. Zombie she's organizing an event, and it's going to be an event happening in Las Vegas. Unfortunately, it's not open to the public. Basically, they're going to be renting an Airbnb, and Zombrigub alongside Steadfast, Chicken Man, Nathanius, Zerg Girl, and I'm sure a couple of others are all going to come together and have like have an event. Run a tournament, have some content. It is kind of like the beginning of like the NA version of Home Story Cup. Unfortunately, they don't have the budget to fly players and to have players compete there, so the tournament itself is going to be online, but the casting is going to be offline, all from that venue, from that Airbnb. So look forward to it. They're going to have like drinking games and like spicy wing challenge and poker as well and all this other stuff. So yeah, look forward to that. Likewise, Cheesedelphia I believe is rumored to return at the end of the year. Cheesedelphia is a big event happening in Philadelphia. It's a big offline American tournament, and that is open to the public, so people can go there and take part. There you go. Tend to miss most of your streams due to being in America. I love watching StarCraft. Oh, I do apologize. We do what we can. True. Do apologize. Otherwise, we're gonna be getting some rest. Going to bed. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. I'm gonna be getting some rest, gonna be getting some sleep, and we'll be back again in less than 24 hours with the Platinum StarCraft League. See you then. See you for the next tournament. Otherwise, thanks for watching. That's all good. Well, we try to have 2 casts a day. One for the Europeans, one for the Americans. We try, but try to sleep as well at some point. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Stick around. We're gonna be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We'll find someone to send everyone over to. We'll find someone. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Ciao, papi, ciao. See you next time.